Test, 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 testing, testing, test, 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 testing, testing, test, 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 test Ickles, testing, test, test, test Ickles, test Ickles. Welcome everyone to episode 709 of the Daily Mother Whoa, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, and of course, the sleaziest of the sleaze cast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Welcome everyone to Jacksonville, Pumped City. Welcome to the Gain Train. Welcome to 709 on a Sunday. What's going on, fam? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the episodio. Good morning. Good mooning. Good morning. Good Sunday. What up, pimp team? What's going on? Get your coffee ready. Right before the gym. Sweet Dennis Dale. That's what I'm talking about. Instagram, YouTube. What's up, Twitch? Everyone holla on Twitch. Hara for Adara. What's going on, fam? Welcome to episode 709. So wherever you are joining me, wherever you're tuning in for old Papa Swolio, thank you for doing so, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you float some biceps, float some hearts. Whether or not you are watching live on the Quadcast, how am I coming in? Am I coming in strong? Am I coming in swole? Am I coming in large? Like, am I showing up in HD? Am I showing up in HD? HD sick fucking gains on your man pod, your swole pod, on your television, wherever I'm showing up. Am I showing up large and in charge? Float some chipples. I wish they had a nipple emoji. I think we're missing that, Apple. I think we're missing the nipple emoji. I think we figured it out just now. So Jay, that's a great point. So let's all start a one of those crowdsource. Let's do a Kickstarter for the nipple emoji. But welcome everyone to 709, the Quadcast, live streaming on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And of course, you can catch all the episodes of the Daily Sleazy on SoundCloud or Apple Podcasts. So if you're not doing so, follow me over there. Make sure you're checking out the podcast and the audio gains. You can smash your ear holes with some knowledge nukes on the daily. Catch up on all your old swoles, walking the dog, choking the chicken, shoveling snow, shoveling sleet, cleaning out the gutters, whatever the fuck you northerners are going to be doing around this time of year. How many of you are still seeing snow? I see some people from Egypt. Obviously, it's not snowing over in Egypt. Last time I checked, it doesn't do that too much over there. It doesn't, not a whole lot on the precipitation, so to speak. Post notifications are on for you. Talk so much sense. Thanks, FitFam. FitFam Spud. Thank you. Thank you. Dropping some positivity here on the Gain Train. So got some fun stuff. The reason why I got the headphones on, first off, I like monitoring. I mean, I like the headphone action. Playing around with some different equipment, some different stuff today, and also taking a phone call. We're going to do a call today, at least one. We'll see how it goes. But we'll drop some great Q&As. I want to start off discussing a little bit about the workout time. I want to kind of burst some bubbles, so to speak, for those of you that are watching. And just a heads up before we get started, we really dip into it balls deep before we start, trying to put the sack into going up to the taint. Those of you that are watching on Instagram, just know that once I get the call, I'm going to be cutting off the live because you're not going to be able to hear it. So if you want to catch the phone call and get the audio for that, if you're on Instagram, just go over to Twitch or YouTube or Facebook and just follow me, Swolenormous, everywhere. A little dry. I need some more coffee. Need to whet my whistle. My phone's ringing there. So how did I spend my Saturday? I worked out and I worked. I worked out and I edited. I did work, putting in fucking time all the time, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, fam. It's like, it's no different for me. Every day is the same, and not in a bad way. It's not like, oh, every day is the same. It's not boring for me. It's exciting. I love trying new things. I love, I love doing it. I love what we've created here together. But in terms of, is my Saturday like, what did I do? Did I party? Yeah, I went to the bar, right? The straight bar, doing some deadlifts. Nah, mean, nah, mean, fam. So let's pop some bubbles. Let's burst some bullshit fucking excuses. Let's really get into this right now. I got some messages. Eh, got some messages in my DM, my private messages on Facebook and on Instagram. Ah, I what's going on, Dale on Twitch? What up, dude? Listen, I've been getting a lot more of these messages lately, and I know it's from people that are new into the community. I know it's from people that are new into the community, obviously, because we fucking burst this shit all the time. We're always talking about this stuff, um, talking about how much time it takes to work out, right? How much time. While I get into this topic, I'm gonna fucking lay some fire right now. I'm gonna kind of rant and rage a little bit, but put in the comments right now how long you take each day to work out. Maybe like your range, like how long do you work out for? Do you work out for an hour, a half an hour and a half? Like how much time do you allot to exercise? How much time per workout and how many times per week are you working out? And I think because of new people coming into the community, seeing my videos and checking out stuff like my workshop, right? Those of you that have been checking out my anti-diet workshop that you've seen, and also my ebook, the stuff that I put out there in the Swoleverse, right? In the universe to get attention, right? For people to come in and check out the show and check out the content and join the community and be a part of this and talk fitness and fucking have some fun every day. So I get messages, and a lot of you have messaged me before, and I'm a straight shooter, like behind the scenes with the messages or with the one-on-one calls. Like I'll tell you what I think. And I feel like in society today, I feel like we're so starved for the truth. Like we're so starved for people just to be fucking honest and tell it like it is or what's really on their mind. We're always afraid to hurt someone's feelings. We're always afraid to get in trouble, right? If I say that, I might lose my job or I might be shunned from society. And one of the things that I promised myself when I started doing all of this, but even before like this whole current vision, like it's always changing, and where I'm seeing everything in the future, like I'm already changing things. Like I'm a few steps ahead, but where this is right now, I didn't plan for all the details. I didn't plan for all the little ins and outs. I didn't plan for you know my current setup and how I'm doing the show right now. Like I'm always changing things. I'm always changing things. I'm always trying new things. I'm always trying to upgrade and make things better and improve, right? But what I promised myself when I started doing Swolenormous and the Daily Soul and the podcast and making all my video content, I promised myself I would fucking say whatever I wanted. Whatever I wanted. Like I want to just roll with it. I want to say shit. I want to say and whatever the fuck I want. Whatever the fuck I want. I want to say within reason, right? I'm like not to hurt anyone's feelings, like for a good reason. For a good reason. That was important to me. The good reason aspect is important to me. So I mean, if you're doing it for the right reasons, if you're just trying to be a piece of shit, then it's like, shut your mouth. No one wants to hear it. But I promised myself I would be honest and be comfortable, right? I'm fucking doing the show without a shirt on. I'm doing it the way I want to. I change things because I want to change things. If I want to change the background, I want to go on the porch and just do Facebook only. I'll do like I will switch and swap and do whatever I feel when the time is right. I'll move where I need to move. And those of you that are with me and that are here, like we fucking roll and we do it together. We try new things together. We experiment. And I get your feedback. You know how involved I like everyone to be in the community, right? I get your opinions and I ask questions and what you guys like. And, we fucking someone just commented the fucking gain train, right? It's the gain train. That's right, Twitch. It's the fucking gain train. It is the gain train. So I'll say shit and I want to say more shit. I'm going to continue to say shit as applicable. Of course, if there's a theme and it's benefiting everyone and it's coming from a good place and from a positive standpoint. So when you message me, and I get these messages sometimes, it's just so fucking depressing. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. It's just so fucking depressing. And I get so I don't want to say I don't like feeling sorry for people, but it's just like there's sometimes it gets so, and I mean this, I'm coming from the best place. It's so pathetic. And what I mean by pathetic is not those of you that are asking me questions about fitness. That's not pathetic. You're asking a fucking question. This is not about you. This is not about someone that's asking for help, right? This is not about those of you that are asking for help. This is not for those of you that are participating, just reaching out and making contact with me. Like for the vast majority of you, honestly, this is not about you. So don't like, oh, I'm not going to message him. He's talking about me. He doesn't like messages. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the people that are just fucking gone, that are just gone, that are just giving up, that message me as if asking, like they want their complaints and their excuses to be validated. And I'll give an example. And if you're watching, bro, I hope you're watching. Please message me again. I mean, having like a little back and forth with this one person and sounds like a good dude, but just is so fucking lost. Is so lost. It does not feel like he has the time to work out, does not feel like he has a hope or a prayer, feels like I live in some kind of fantasy world where I get to do what I want to do, but he can't do what he wants to do. And he doesn't regret the decisions he's made. But, we can't all live in my reality. And his reality is he doesn't have time. And it's just, he doesn't have time to go sweat in a gym. And I'm like, bro, you're looking at it all wrong. Like every human, I don't care who you are, we all have our advantages and disadvantages. I mean, some people have better genetics when it comes to certain things. Some people have different talents. Look, there's a reason why, and this is not an ego thing, but there's a reason why each and every one of you don't have a podcast, because not all of you are good or enjoy doing a podcast. So you watch my podcast. Okay. Someone else out there has a podcast. Like you go where your skills are, right? You go where your natural skills are or your talents are, or some of you can paint really well, or some of you are great carpentry, or you're electricians and you're brilliant with that kind of fucking stuff that makes my head explode. Like everyone has a skill and a talent, right? Greg, I know that's what on Facebook. Yeah, well, my first concern is that the person is messaging me. Yo, if you're messaging me, you're asking for help. What are you, just messaging to complain? Like, I don't have time for that shit. Like, do you want help? Do you want me to point you in the right direction? Do you want like a slap across the face? Like, wake the fuck up. It's time for your life to move forward. Like, what are you going to do? Okay, so you have a job and you don't have a lot of time. It's like, welcome to the fucking club. I love when people think like I just do whatever I want to do. Well, I've kind of created my business around what I want to do. So, and I'm not saying there isn't, I mean, there's good fortune, and I don't know about luck, but I've had good fortune because I put in the work and the repetitions for things to happen. So, I want to talk about fitness. I want to do fitness stuff. So that's why I have a fitness show and I make fitness content. And yeah, a lot of it's about me working out in the gym. Well, because I like to work out in the gym. So it's like I went out there and I risked a shitload of time. You guys have any idea, right? How many thousands of hours, like thousands of hours, tens of thousands of hours spent just fucking, I mean, tens of thousands. Who knows? I mean, that's however many hours I've spent in the last couple of years. Just, it's all a risk. It's all a risk. The time you invest in anything, it's always a risk. You might not get the return. It just, you have to try. You have to work. I mean, my brother says he doesn't have time because he's a single dad. Okay, well, there are some single dads out there that are in fucking great shape and take care of their bodies. Why can't you take care of your body if you're a single dad? Why can't you take care of your body if you're a single mother? Why can't you get in shape just because you work a 12-hour shift? Like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Okay. So you have a couple options. It's not going to sound sexy and it's not going to be an arm around the shoulder. But if you have to work a 12-hour shift and you're tired afterwards, either go in the morning first thing, If you have to get up earlier, then go to sleep earlier. If it's still too long of a day, then, get a better job and get paid more. So you have to work less hours, or, oh, well, you need another skill to get paid more. Then go take a certification and fucking like do what it takes to improve your life. Do what it takes to improve your position. It's like if you're not making enough money, then go make more money. If it's really comes down to money, then go make more money, then get another job, then do something on the side. And, it's, are you going to do what it takes to make it happen? And if you have, like, that's why I was asking everyone, how long does it take for you to work out? Because they don't want to be too swole. Just boils down to that excuse. I agree. Man, the Facebook audio is way better now. Yeah, yeah. Upping the game, making it better for everyone. Instagram has a lot of static. Well, Instagram's on a cell phone. Everything else is through the high quality mic. Ah, Instagram. Well, Instagram, you can't broadcast through the internet. Anyway, it's all about priorities, what you want. Yes. Everyone will have the qualities and strength. Not everyone will have the qualities and strength of another person. Agreed. Now, how about this on YouTube? I'm a single dad. I work a 12-hour shift. I work out before work. I get up at 4 a.m. and get to bed by 9 p.m. No excuses. All right. So if you have it better than Michael Coates on YouTube, all right, he's a single dad. He works a 12-hour shift. All right. So this is like ironically just literally the situation that I theoretically described. And here's a gentleman who lives it and wins it with it. So single dad, works 12-hour shift. He works out before work. He gets up at 4 a.m. Is getting up at 4 a.m. like a lovely thing? Like in general, anyone that's watching or listening, when you think of getting up at 4 a.m., does that sound like a vacation? I mean, it's nice to get up super early in the morning. Like when you're getting rest, it's just like waking up and you feel good. But when we just casually think about 4 a.m., it's like, fuck, that's early. It's like associated with misery. And oh my God, it's so early. This guy fucking does it every day. And he goes to sleep on time and he gets his workout in. No excuses. Not making an excuse. Gets it done. It sucks, but you get used to it. You fucking get used to it. While everyone is sleeping, you're grinding. Honestly, that's a big reason what Michael just said. I loved, like, when I get on a good routine, I love getting up early because I love putting in work when I know other people aren't. That's also another reason why I like staying up late at night, because when I know sometimes, and I'm just awake, I'm good at night. I'm good running on. I have some great, honestly, fam, some of my best ideas happen at night, like late at night. I'm talking like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden I'll have like this, even sometimes when you get in that delirious state, like 5, 6 a.m. I'm just doing like a project all night. And all of a sudden I have this right before I go to sleep at like 6:30 in the morning, my fucking head explodes. I have this amazing idea and I write it down. And it was worth staying up the entire night just to have that thought and that breakthrough at 6:30. It just popped into my head. It's like I don't know. It's cool. I've had so many of those experiences. I don't fight it. If I want to stay up late, I almost let it happen because there's some great shit that happens first thing in the morning. I mean, late at night for me sometimes. But I love the fact that it's quiet and I know there's no one out there. There's no one on the road. There's no sounds. And I'm just in here just fucking putting in time. But also, when it's 3 a.m., it's 9 a.m. somewhere, it's 10 a.m. somewhere, it's 12 a.m. somewhere, or 12 p.m., noon. And the thing is here, really, my community is international. There are a lot of people watching. Someone said I'm watching from Egypt. That's one of the reasons why I broadcast at different times during the day now. I do different times. I try to do like earlier in the day, like midday, but evening. I like doing different times because it hits people from different areas. And there's a lot of people from Europe and um, Australia and stuff that watch here. So, like a lot of you from Europe that are always shouting out. So it's cool. It's cool. I know went off on a little bit of a tangent, but that's why I was asking how long it takes everyone to work out. Let's bring it back. And that's why the title of this episode is called Long Workouts. Like, do you really need a long time? Do you really need a long time? It doesn't take that long. Some of you take an hour to work out, but does it really take? And here's the thing. You take an hour to work out. I can go to the gym for an hour. I can go to the gym for an hour and a half. I can take my time. But you and I both know if you're in a time crunch and you only have half an hour, You could fucking work out in half an hour. You just turn it up a notch. You rest less time and you maybe do a little bit less volume, but you cut down the rest periods and you just fucking crush it. Like you could slam a nasty workout. I've had some of my best workouts in a half an hour. I used to do that on purpose. Back when I was like in the field doing a ton of personal training, I was, and here's a cool little, here's a cool little, little hack. Those of you that are trying to turn up the intensity of your workouts, have you ever tried, and this is a great nugget for you all. Have you ever tried doing a workout time restricted? And what I mean by time restricted is not saying, oh, leave yourself an hour to work out or go to the gym and say, okay, I'm going to work out in half an hour, but literally sandwich your schedule and make it so you're forced into a smaller time period to work out. So what I used to do, and I noticed subconsciously I would do this. Let's say I had a client. Let's say I was training a personal training client at say 4 p.m. Sometimes I would get ready to the gym and work out. I'd be all, in my clothes and stretched and warmed up kind of, but I would do some extra warm up and I would leave until like, 3:20, 3:25, 3:30, like where I literally only had 20, 30 minutes. Like I had to be done. It wasn't just a loose self-inflicted restriction. Cause sometimes you say, okay, I'm gonna work out for half an hour. But then if you go over, it's like, oh, well, I went over and you don't really, you're not locked into it. This was the only time I had to work out in the day and I would leave myself a restricted amount of time and I would just crush it. So sometimes some of my best workouts. Yeah, exactly, Russell. So my best workouts are under the gun, he says on YouTube. Yeah, like I would do some of my best workouts, literally quote under the gun, or the gym is closing in half an hour. Shit, you forgot the gym was closing. You either get down and depressed and feel like shit and be like, ah, fuck it, the gym's closing, or you can turn up a notch and say, you know what, I'm gonna crush it. So sometimes when I have a setback like that, when the gym's closing early and there's a holiday, or I didn't realize it was closing, or um, or let's say something bothers me when I get to the gym, I'm gonna do a different body part. I'll flip the script and I'll do something different. Used to 2 hours. Now I push myself really hard and to only do an hour now. I am a big fan lately for my own personal fitness. I do more frequency. I do less volume, but I'm trying to do like each body part more often, but but like less, but less, intense each time. I don't know how to explain it. I'm putting it together as part of a program for Swolenormous X. It's part of a new approach that I'm doing in terms of overload, and it's cool. It's I feel like it's working for me. It's an interesting thing, and it's making me sore as shit, which is always nice. But just to clarify, you don't have to be sore to have a good workout. But yeah, I just feel it differently. I feel like my physique is looking differently or looking a certain way. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of I'm a fan of like right now, my nutrition and my kind of sweet spot, like what I'm doing right now for my nutrition, for my headspace. Like, I don't know. I just feel like my flow is, I'm in an interesting place right now in terms of the thoughts I have, the directions I want to go, the time I have available. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of in this in between place, which is pretty cool. It's fun. Like for my own personal training. So let's see. I saw Mike here in the comments. I'm just gonna pour some coffee. Mike, you still watching on Facebook? You ready for that call in a couple moments? We're gonna bring Mike up on the show in just a few. I know Mike you usually watch on Facebook, so you ready to go in a little bit? I'll give you a ring in a few, and we'll talk to Mike and we'll get some feedback from him. I want to hear his opinion on like the length of his workouts and stuff like that. We'll ask him. We'll do some more calls. So those of you that are watching on Instagram, I'll cut off Instagram. Mike, you're what? Okay. So I'll cut off Instagram when I do the call, and you can head on over to Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube um, to catch the audio because you won't be able to hear it through the speaker there. Let's see. I don't have much time at lunch. I could get this burp up, fam. Jeez. There we go. How many people burp on air in a podcast? Do a lot of people do this? I don't know. I every once in a while when I hear other people's podcasts, I just feel like I go a little, I don't know, I go a little bit further. I don't know. I'm just so fucking myself. I don't think I farted on, well, that you've heard on the podcast before. Coffee, once you go black, you never go back. I'm drinking black coffee right now. I had some bulletproof coffee earlier, but I'm on like 2 pots. I'm actually in the process of trying to reset my sleep schedule. I'm trying to like force myself to go to sleep earlier and really get back on it. So I got like a couple hours last night. I was up really late, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pound coffee, stay awake, and use it as a reset. Nope, you're the only one I hear burp. Get it out. I'm the only one that I hear. Well, I guess you can edit it out. You can edit those things. I don't edit out that shit. I don't edit out the burps. Eric Dean, I walk for 20 to 25 minutes, helps me wake up. I take the dog, then I live for an hour, maybe an hour 15. Cool. Dennis at the gym now. Friend is here. Got to go in. Enjoy everyone later. Laters. There's a good quote. Maybe let me see if I get this quote from earlier. I took a screenshot. So I saw someone post this. Let me see if I can bring this up. Let me see if I can bring this quote up. Um, I want to start doing that because I have a lot of good quotes I come across. I know everyone likes a good quote. You know how I feel about motivation, all that bullshit. Or I was also thinking, fam, maybe every day I'll do a quote. Maybe every day I'll pick a card from the wall and let you all know because you can't see them. So maybe I'll give you a quote from my wall. But a friend of mine posted this, and this is an interesting. I saw this on Snapchat actually, and this quote is kind of like talking the talk or walking the walk. And I want you to think about that: talking the talk or walking the walk. So you heard me mention the messages I've been getting. You know, people that are really just fucking that are far gone, right? The people that are just really not. They just like they've punched out. They've punched out emotionally. They punched out mentally. They just kind of like foot out the door. They're ready. They're just not into taking care of their bodies. Okay. So here's the quote that, and I'm not sure what this is from. Doesn't even matter. It's a good quote. I haven't looked it up and cross checked it, but it says, when people start broadcasting what they're going to do and how great they're going to be when they do it, it's a sure sign they're still trying to convince themselves. If you already know, you don't have to talk about it. Talk never goes up in price. It's always free, and you usually get what you pay for. So that was a cool quote. I liked it. I took a screenshot of it because it really does explain a lot about the mentality of people, right? Like if you start running your mouth and saying, "Oh, I'm going to lose weight," like people message me saying, "I found your stuff. I love it. I can't wait to start my journey. I'm going to crush this. Thank you so much for the ebook, blah blah blah." I don't know. I'm excited, but I don't get like ramped up like sweet. It's like you have so much fucking work ahead of you. I'm like, cool. I'm glad you got inspired. I'm more curious as to what you're doing 3 or 4 weeks from now. And what's really cool is those of you that have seen my videos, right? Download the ebook or seen the nutrition workshop or joined Swolenormous X or any of those things, just been a part of the community, and you come back like, fuck, I love it when people join the community, but I love it even more when I get those messages like, hey, I did what the fuck you said. I literally followed. I wasn't sure where to go. I wasn't sure what direction to take. I was kind of lost in my journey and I found your stuff. And now I have found like amazing results. I've actually applied what you've been teaching or what you've been talking about, what your podcast has been about. And I'm just so happy because I actually did it. I put the work and I literally did what you were saying. I didn't just fucking talk about it and boom, amazing results. You know, thank you so much. I I love those. I love those. I love those more from people that I don't need your fucking money to get a high off you getting results. How many people have fucking messaged me that stuff that have never purchased and never been a member of my private communities, never bought my programs or anything like that? They just saw some of my fucking content, got inspired, and lost 80 pounds, 50 pounds. I get these fucking messages constantly, and I love it. It's awesome. It's great. That's why I'm doing if I didn't want to give any of this information away, I wouldn't do a daily podcast about fitness and answer all these questions. Like I want you to see change. I'm just trying to vent and give you fucking every last little bit of content I can in a consumable fashion so you don't fucking go insane hearing the same shit over and over again. And I don't want to leave any stone unturned. That's why we talk about everything. You know, flesh it out. Flesh it out and let's go over it again. Let's keep on fucking hammering the nail in the coffin, right? No it's so simple, right? It's so simple. Like I'm getting more beastly every day, Lynn, on Twitch. It's literally just fucking doing it every day. Fucking doing it every day and just be willing to put in that kind of effort and dedication, discipline every day. That's the hard part. This is me, Mike. Yeah, let's get Mike. Let's do that call, Mike. So I'm gonna be calling you in just a moment. Let me take a sip. Doggone burping is fine. It might not be thousands of people watching your show, but it's okay to give a little bit of reality from time to time. All that other stuff is church step for our feelings. Ha! Well, I mean, I burp regularly on the show. Like I will literally do whatever I want. I will literally do whatever I want. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, like that's why I do things like the phone calls and everything. If you guys are loving the phone calls, we'll keep on doing phone calls. We'll do more Q&As and we'll see where everything goes. And I'm just the cool thing is that you're a part of this. So like your feedback and your attention and all this stuff is extremely appreciated. I'm here because I enjoy it, but I'm also here to provide you with awesome content and and answer questions and give you great feedback. And I want to make sure I'm always improving. Chandra, would I be able to private message later about my journey? You're free to message me. I get a lot of them, so how quickly I'll get back to you. I'll get to it. Just be patient. But yeah, I mean, anyone's free to message me. You could DM me on Instagram or message me on Facebook, anywhere. All right, let's get Mike on the line. Let's get we'll call it the pipe, right? All right, so we're calling on the show. We'll call it the pipe. So I'll say like let's get Mike on the pipe. I like that. I like the horn. Let's get Mike on the horn. It's lame. Let's get Mike on the pipe. Let's lay some mic pipe. And those of you that are and those of you that are watching on Instagram, those of you that are watching on Instagram, let's get you over. And if you're not, let me do a plug right now. I'm doing a lot of clips. I'm doing a lot of content, and I'm looking to do a lot more streaming, especially on Twitch. And I'm doing a lot of stuff on Twitch. I'm putting a lot of content up over there. So if you're not following me over there, and you are interested in getting some more behind the scenes streams and things of that nature, check me out, twitch.tv/Swolenormous. So Swolenormous everywhere. And it's great, great audio. It's probably even better than YouTube and Facebook. That's what I've heard. And the video quality. And it's a lot more quiet over there because the follower base and the fan base over there is growing as increases in popularity. So if you're dropping comments and you want your comments to be seen more, especially if you're watching on Instagram and Instagram comments scroll really fast, definitely check out Twitch because I'll see your comment more readily. That's for sure. So Instagram, peace out. Make sure you follow me. Remember Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook right now for the phone call. So bye-bye Instagram. Bye-bye. Everyone's leaving over there. So blah, blah, blah. Good. This is cool. Cool, a little more casual. Move that phone. It's got phones fucking everywhere. So much tech around here. It's really good. Oh yeah, Lynn, you're still on Twitch, by the way. So yeah, if you're not following me on Twitch, that's definitely a place to be. It's really there's a lot of stuff I want to do that I can do on Twitch I can't do on other platforms. So let's get Mike on the line. Mikey. Catherine. Oh, the difference in sound quality. Oh, is that were you just Catherine, were you just watching on Instagram? Well, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook are all on the professional audio equipment. Instagram is just because Instagram just has to be through the cell phone speaker. And you can't use an external microphone because when it picks up cell signal, a lot of times there's interference and you'll get a buzzing noise. So even if I use an external mic, like a shotgun mic for it on Instagram, I've found that I get humming and interference. I'm going to keep on trying to see if I can improve that. But if you really want better quality, just fucking go watch the lives over here. Or you notice I'm live on Instagram, then change the platform. All right, let's give Mike a call. Hey, Michael. Let's get him on this line. Go, Mikey.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, Mike, what's up, dude?
How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Let's see. How's everyone? Can everyone hear Mike okay? Make sure when once we start talking, if you can hear Mike fine, just drop in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. So, Mike, what's up, dude? Thanks for taking the call. I appreciate your time on a Sunday, bro. Aren't you supposed to be lifting or something?
Oh, yeah, I do that late at night. I go to the gym about 10, So,
Nice, nice.
but hey, yeah, before I start saying anything, I just want to say thank you, man, for all your knowledge and really changing my life, man. It's been a blessing that I found you for real. So,
Dude,
yes,
my absolute pleasure. And so let's get into that a little bit because
all right,
we talked like at the beginning of your journey, and of course we've been talking, regularly, through in the groups and here on the page and everything. You're super plugged in. So why don't you just give everyone like a little bit of like a rundown, like a background, because you're and I don't want to say you're a unique success story, but yours isn't just about weight loss. There's a lot more dimension to it. So I'll let you go ahead
yes,
and just kind of give a little background with like where you're coming from and some perspective,
all
because
right,
I know a lot of people will be able to benefit from what you've gone through. So lay it on me.
sure. Firstly, I've been diabetic my whole life. I've been diabetic I'm 42 now, and I've been diabetic since I've been 11. I never really took care of myself growing up. Never exercised, never lifted weights. I pretty much, I was sick my whole life because my blood sugars were always out of whack. I was always in and out of the hospital. I played video games my whole life. Strongest part of my body, of course, is my thumbs. Years of playing video games, and then I was married, and I kind of we got it wasn't the best marriage, and I gained a lot of weight. I was like 327 pounds, and I'm 6 foot, so I was pretty big. But I was big in a different way. Like my gut was really big, like I had really skinny arms and legs because I had no muscle.
Mhm.
And then I wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to change in life. I was out mowing my yard one day, and I had like a half-acre yard, and I was just trying to mow the front. And I remember I had to take like 3 breaks. So I felt like my heart, I was gonna have a heart attack. Like my heart was not just beating; it was like twisting inside my chest. And I was like, man, I gotta do something different. So I playing fitness at the special. You join for $10, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go do this, and
Right.
I'm gonna try to do this. And I never worked out or like had any kind of plan or goal. I just went in there and like you make fun of people all the time. You just go in and do it like everybody else does at the gym, but that's what I was. I was just I'd walk for a half hour and then I'd just kind of watch what everyone else was doing and try doing that. Of course, these were dudes that already had huge muscles and had been doing it like most of their life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
So I'm trying to do that, and it worked at first. About the first year, I really lost a lot of weight. A year and a half, I lost about 100 pounds. I changed my diet up. Not as good as I eat now, but instead of burgers and pizza, I was eating like sandwiches and and just different foods, not pizza and stuff. But I thought I was eating better. And I was drinking a lot of milk. I love milk. I'm a milkaholic. Um, I've been drinking milk my whole life. I could easily drink like a gallon of milk, and I was allergic to it, I guess, but not in the sense like I would throw up. It would just make me really bloated, and they always said that I had gastroparesis. So I've been on medicine for it and been on all kinds of meds for my diabetes, my blood pressure, high cholesterol, and then I'm off just everything except for insulin now,
So let's
because of
so,
what your program has done for me.
that's
So
yeah. So
it,
let's put like a little
yeah,
bullseye around this last part here. So
yeah.
go over that list one more time, because just in case some people are like coming in right now, and just to give like a re-summary. What was your so you from when you started your journey
Mm.
to now? Like, what was your body weight? What was your body weight change from where you started to where you're at now?
My body weight where I started, I was at 327, and
Okay.
now I'm at 194. So,
Holy shit.
and I
So
was on,
so
I
what
was on,
so what is that like?
I
How many pounds is that? Someone do that.
that's like 130 something now. So
Damn.
that's from my journey. That's my whole 3 year. But I got hurt. So what I was gonna say, so I was doing this stuff in the gym and I got hurt really bad.
Mhm.
About my year and a half into working out, I was working out with one of my friends and I was doing an incline bench press, and it was my last one and I was really pushing it up and they were like, "Come on, you can do it." And I wasn't keeping any form. My back was arched, and then my shoulder popped. I mean, it was so loud that everybody heard it.
Shit.
I lost all my power. It felt like somebody stabbed me. I went home and I literally couldn't move my arm for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I was like, finally, I got to go to the hospital. Well, it turned out I had ripped my rotator cuff like 3 different spots.
Right.
And I had a bulge disc in my back. My L5 was all bulged out. And so I never did legs or anything. And then, I kept trying to, I didn't want to be fat again. So I kept trying to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I kept still, even though I was hurt, I kept trying to go, but I was still doing the same shit I was doing.
How much did you lose? How much did you lose before your shoulder injury?
I lost about 100 pounds, 110 pounds.
All right. So you had already been
my body had,
so you've been crushing it up to that point. Like you were on a roll.
Yeah. I wanted a different lifestyle, man. And the biggest thing is, I noticed like my insulin levels just kept dropping. Like I was taking, every time I ate, and I didn't eat a huge amount, but I drank a lot of milk at every meal.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking like 36 units of Humalog. And that's a lot, man. I mean,
yeah.
36 units every time I ate is huge. Now I take 2 to 3, my long-acting insulin that I was taking 70 units. That's like, you have to take that before you go to bed, and it keeps your blood sugar regulated for the whole day.
Right.
And now I take 35. And now they're talking about dropping that even more because like my A1C, before I started doing Europe. So anyway, so let me go back to where I was hurt, right? So I was hurt and I got really depressed. And so I kind of stopped going to the gym. You know what I mean? I started eating frozen pizzas and shit and just kind of hung out at home. And I got a really big belly again and I was just fucking depressed.
How much did you go back up? Just to give, I want everyone to
40 pounds. 40 pounds. I gained about 40 pounds back up. So
okay,
I was back up to like 220, 240.
So you lost about 100. You lost about 100 pounds over the course of a year or so, and then you got hurt shoulder, and you kind of rebounded back about 40 pounds.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then, like I said, and I was on Facebook one day, just laying there, all depressed, and I actually think I was about to throw a fucking pizza in the oven, and you had just come up, and I was watching this other dude on Facebook, and you happened to come up like under his thing, so I joined on you when you were doing a live show, and you were talking about wasted time. I think it was like episode 434 or something like that, or 444. You were talking about wasted time, and I never get that time back. And I was like, holy shit, man, that's been my story my whole life. You know? And then you started talking about the next day I watched. You talked about how injuries and how you get them, and how how you can fix it. And then the simplest thing that got me hooked is just your free information that you were giving me. You talked about doing stuff in slow motion. Like if you were hurt and you don't have like that, you didn't start, building,
the stabilizer.
Don't ever work out. Yeah. You don't build any of those other small muscles or shit that you need, especially when you're doing like on a Smith machine and stuff. You don't get any of that stuff.
Yeah, period, for sure. People love that Smith machine, man. People love that Smith. Well, I mean, the Smith machine is good in some situations. The problem is when you start, it really I mean, honestly, the Smith can be great if you have an injury because it gives you that ability to hit certain angles safely without having, because a lot of times like the injuries you have are from a stabilizer. So the Smith might take that out, but people live on that machine even when they're healthy. And ironically, it can lead you maybe out of an injury, but it can also lead you right into one.
Yeah. So that's what happened to me. And so I went to the gym and I was doing the slow motion stuff for a week. I followed you every day for a week, and you kept talking about injuries and like how you should do stuff in slow motion just to try to see, and I was just like, shit, I did less weight, slow motion, and I really felt sore again instead of pain. And I was like, holy shit, this is like the first time I've worked out in a year where I haven't felt like pain, And then I called you. And I got a hold of you to see if I call you and ask you about your program. And that's why I like you. Man, you were always trying to push shit down my throat, weight belts, food, cookbooks, stupid shit. You're just like, hey, if you want to do this, this is what I can do to offer you, And I was just like, I really was into that. Man, and as soon as I went and did the program, it's my first week. I did the introductory week. I did that for like a month and a half.
Oh, the primer week? The primer week, you mean?
Yeah, the primer week.
Yeah,
the primer week. I did that for like a month and a half because, my shoulder was so fucked up and my back was so messed up. And then like right towards my end, right before I was going to start the actual program, we were doing the suck and tuck. I'm addicted to the suck and tuck,
before you go into that, that's the thing, right? There's so many people that want it so fast. And, when you said it took a month and a half before you got into like the meat in the program, just to give some context for those of you that are watching or listening that don't know the program he's referring to. It's the 90-day dash. It's one of my programs. It's the main program of Swolenormous X, but it starts off with an introductory week where it's for all levels, which really focuses on mobility and the stabilizer muscles. So that's why it's so challenging in a different way. But what you just said, that it took you about a month and a half to get into the actual program, you were already in it, man. Like the mental approach is everything. Like you were doing
Right.
that for a month and a half. That was doing it. That was doing it. You mean like the
Right.
meat and potatoes, but the primer week is the program. It's just like how quickly you ramp up is on an individual basis. But a lot of
Right.
like, what if you were what if you were like lifting with your ego and you just jumped into it after the first week? That's what a lot of people do. That's where a
You
lot of people.
then you would I would think that you would feel miserable and you'd be like, oh, this sucks and this isn't what I want to do, and you wouldn't enjoy it.
You sure
That's
could.
why
Yeah, you
that's
sure
why you
could.
always say you got to do it. That's why you always focus. You got to do it at your speed.
Yeah.
You have to do it at this. You have
Yep.
to do it at what you can handle. Because and again, I only did. And then when I did when I did the 90-day dash, my first time I did it. I only did 2 sets of stuff. Because I couldn't. If I did 3, I couldn't make it through the whole workout.
Yeah, but you were
So
aware of
like the
that and you
one-legged
adjusted.
shit.
You
Oh yeah,
you
yep. And
adjusted it.
that's
It's
just
so
I
simple.
adjusted. Yep.
It's so
And
simple.
then so my back, and I was on Vicodins for 5 years because that bold disc. I was
Wow.
big
Yeah.
ones, 1,000.
Oh, you're gonna tell me
And
about the
then
story about what you're talking about, the exercise you're doing. You were saying you're doing like the hip or the glutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I call it suck and tucks. Where you take
Yeah.
your
The suck and
your
tuck.
hip back and suck your belly button in,
Right.
and then you said you should, and I was just doing them like while I cooked, and I'm a chef, so like I cater it at home and stuff, and so I was just doing that like while I was cooking and whatnot, and then you were saying you should do that when you're working out too, and so I was doing the slow motion incline bench, and I was sucking and tucking, and then all of a sudden my back like popped, and my hips started tingling. It shit just felt weird, and my first thought was, oh my god, I just ruptured that disc. You know what I mean? And so my friends like helped me home. Yeah, I thought I ruptured that disc like for sure, like it totally broke, and I was like, oh fuck. So I went home and I didn't even shower. I just went to bed and I fell asleep, and man, I woke up the next morning and like it's weird. I got out of bed and there was no pain, and that's like I
Wow.
don't know if you guys understand how huge that is. I'm getting emotional here, but like my wife left me, because like of all my injuries and stuff like that, and like it was just I wasted so much money on therapies, shots, fucking all this other shit, and then they wanted to do surgery, and all it took was just doing like the shit that you said to do. You know what I mean? I mean that's huge. And if anybody's listening, all I gotta say is there is nothing genetically phenomenal about me. I'm almost blind. I have thinning hair, and if I can do this and I can change everything in my life, I think anybody can do it. You just got to know, like you said, like you always say, you have to know where you're going to feel comfortable doing it, and don't push. Especially if you're just starting, don't push yourself. Do it to where you're feeling comfortable every day, and then you'll want to go every day because you'll feel fucking better every day. You wake up with no pain. You wake up feeling like, man, I feel like I'm 18 again, like I'm 20. I mean, I feel amazing. And like Indiana, it's been cold as shit. We've been blessed the other day with like a 70 degree. Yeah, I'm not joking. It's been like in the 30s. But we had a freak day the other day, and it was 70 degrees. And I jumped on my Harley, and I went for a ride. And I rode for 7 hours, and there was not a pain, not in my shoulder, not in my back. And like I said, doing the 90-day dash, all the mobility stuff, it healed my shoulder completely. And I couldn't even tie my shoe. I mean, that's how bad my shoulder was fucked up. Like when I tried to do a push up, and I'm not saying like a regular push up, a girl push up on my knees, I couldn't even go down like a quarter. And all of a sudden it would just be so much pain, and I would lose all power and just fall.
Yeah.
Now I can do 8 regular push ups. I know that's not huge, but man, in 8 months of doing this, 9 months of really doing the 90-day dash and following, the meal plans, and man, I eat like a lot of. My butcher shop now, they're making me my 70/30 patties, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat like you, man, trying to do the stuff, and I feel blessed that you're willing to share what you do and what you've gone through. I mean, and like I said, I might be a different success story than most people. Like my A1 and my diabetes and my A1C levels, they're at 6.4, which is perfect. I mean, they're always running before that at 9 something. You know what I mean? And my diabetic doctor's like, "What do you mean you don't measure your food? What do you mean you don't do this?" I was like, "Man, I'm telling you, this is what's working.
It's
And I'm not getting off it."
It's amazing sometimes what I'm trying to do is not necessarily direct anyone specific direction, but guide you to that sweet spot. I mean, it sounds like you found a really like a real important balance, mentally as well as physically. Like, how do you feel like getting a hold of your mental approach to fitness in terms of how you prioritize it in your life, in terms of what's taken you to be to keep it so consistent and disciplined? Because one of the things that you did mention was that you did what you could do, but you did it consistently, and that's a real big point that I'm trying to push all the time. Is the frequency is the important part, the consistency. Like, you can do it great for a week and do everything 100% for a week, but what happens after for the 9, 10, 11 weeks after that? So how do you feel like, or what have you done? Any tips, tricks, like in terms of for those that are listening, because you've lost a ton of weight, you've reversed a lot of injuries and illnesses and things that were plaguing you by applying the knowledge and stuff that you've learned here that everyone has access to. What would you suggest to someone that's listening for the first time and just be like, oh, well, I don't have time, or I don't, it's not worth it? Like, what would you recommend, being
Well,
someone that has like experienced it from that vantage point?
yeah, I would say the first what keeps me going and motivated and where I don't want to skip or go back to is I don't want to feel shitty again ever. I don't want to, I don't want to be sick again. I don't want to go back to the hospital again. I don't want to feel like, I don't want to have, if I get another wife or girlfriend, I don't want to have her watch me be sick all the time.
Mhm.
Once you spend your lifetime feeling like shit. And when I say like feeling like shit, if you're overweight and you're exhausted all the time, if you can't mow your fucking yard, if you can't go walk your dogs, if you become somebody that is just sitting around playing video games. And that was another thing, man. I wasted fucking 20 years of my life playing video games, building fake fucking characters and people. That makes me sick. Dude, I look back on that when we talk about wasted time, that makes me sick to my stomach. I spent 20 years night and day building fake fucking people and not doing it myself. You know what I mean? Getting the best armor, making sure they had the best abilities, the best this, the best that. Yeah, here I was, a fat piece of shit on the couch, not even be able to mow my yard. You know what I mean? And that's crazy.
That's real talk,
So I look
man.
at that.
That's some
Yeah, and
that's some fire shit right there,
yeah.
man. That's real.
So I look at that kind of stuff and the choices I made in my life and the relationships I've lost, girlfriends, wives. You know, I'm a good looking dude. My wife was a really pretty young girl. She was 12 years younger than me. You think she wanted to see me in the hospital all the time? No. Think she wanted to see me fucking sick and laying in bed and fucking fat and not being able to move or do shit? No.
Mhm.
You know
Right.
what I mean? I go to work and that'd be all I could do. I mean, it's not, if you love your spouse, fix your shit. If you love yourself, fix your shit. It's not hard. And like you say, these people say they don't have time, but I bet they have time to watch movies with their kids. They're watching SpongeBob.
Yeah.
They're fucking,
Yeah.
playing video games. They're
Yeah.
doing all that kind of shit. If you can do that or watch TV, if you're watching TV for an hour, you're watching your favorite TV show, go the fuck to the gym. They have that same show on right in front of the treadmill.
True.
There's no excuse, and I make excuses my whole life. Oh, and I'll use my sister for an example. I'm not talking shit because I love her, but she's really overweight.
Yeah.
Her daughter's really overweight, and she's diabetic. And every time I try to, man, we went out to lunch a month and a half ago, and she was, and like she gets so mad when I bring you up and talk about you because I talk about you to everybody. It's like people who are into the God, they want to
Appreciate
preach
it,
the
man.
word. I preach the
Yeah.
word. It's just how it is.
Appreciate that, bro.
And she's like, she's telling me how they were putting her daughter, and she's insulin dependent just like me, and she's been diabetic since she's been like 4.
Mhm.
And she's 16 now, and she weighs 300 pounds. She's like 5 feet, and she's like, they're putting on this metformin to make sure her blood sugars are better. And I'm like, are you fucking retarded?
Yeah.
I was like, that's a type 2 diabetic medicine for old people that's caused all kinds of damage in bodies. I said, why don't you just make her go the fuck to the gym?
How old is she again?
Quit eating this bullshit. She's 16. She just turned 16.
So she's on
Her daughter.
she's on diabetic meds at 16.
Yeah, she's type 1 diabetic, so she's on insulin, but she's on blood pressure meds, and she's on cholesterol meds, and she's on everything. Dude, she's on everything that I was on as a 40-year-old fucking man, as a 15-year-old girl.
Fuck.
And so I try to talk to my sister and be like, hey, man, and I'm not trying to like vent or anything, but I'm just saying this is how family and people react. when you try to, people get offended when they don't want to change. People get really fucking offended if they see you doing something and they know they can do it, but they just don't want to do it.
Bro, this is
What I mean?
this is
And that
really
causes a
like,
lot of
this is exactly what, you need to drive home, because don't forget who's listening to the show. I mean, right now you're preaching to the choir. Like, I get you, I hear you. But for those of you that are listening in, this is like what everyone deals with. This is the reality of the situation. You go to make change, and you go to improve your life, and to stretch your limits, and to, live to your aspirations, and take care of yourself, and, improve your quality of life. And the people that you expect to support you the most and to be there for you, or like intrinsically you would expect there to be positivity there, there's oftentimes pushback and resentment and lashing out, which
yeah,
deters a lot of people. And it's very, very sad how someone could be negative because they don't want to do it themselves, and they just lash out, and, you know,
yeah.
with that negative response.
Well,
So yeah, go ahead.
right, and that's what she said, and that's what, and that's a lot, and not just my sister, but people are like, well, just because it worked for you, that doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. And I just looked her right fucking in the eye, just like I'll look anybody in the eye and say, yes, it fucking will. If it worked for me, it will definitely work for you. Look
But
how fucked up I was. I mean,
diet
I
and
was injured.
exercise.
I was on so much money. Yeah, diet and the right food.
It's not like you're talking
And
about
dude,
being a professional basketball player or something. You're talking about being a human being.
yeah, just a human being, dude. And it's, dude, now you know what my biggest thing is, and I don't want to be like a dick, but when I go to the grocery store, I look at people buying shit in their cart. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the
And I'm
worst.
just like,
No, that's the worst. Like
what the
rows of
fuck?
soda,
You want to go up?
chips, and
Yeah,
artificial shit.
chips and bullshit. And they got this fat little kid, and I was fat. And I say fat little kid.
I
And
see
I'm
it
not
all the
trying to say
time,
fat
man.
people, but I was a fat kid. I was a fat kid when I was young. I was just like my sister's kid, and that's nothing in my family. Like my mom sees me now. She's like, you look so sick. You need to eat.
Yeah.
You know, she comes to my and she lives like 3 hours away. So when she comes down and she opens my fridge, and like all I've got is like I got sweet potatoes on the counter, and I got like some juice because in case my diabetic, my sugar goes low, so I don't die.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't, she just tries to leave me money for groceries, or that she goes buys groceries and brings like all this shit food to my house, and I gotta give it away to people that eat it. You know, it's just like
That's
if you
funny.
don't have it in your house, you don't eat it. You know,
Right.
I mean, and I keep juice and some necessities in case my blood sugar goes low, but and I don't keep chips, I don't keep pizzas, I don't keep that kind of shit in my house because when we talk about drugs and people being addictive, man, bad food's the fucking number one drug.
I agree.
And that's what you relapse
Yeah.
to. And people even, if you have anything going on in your life, one thing that comforts us is food. And, I never looked at food until you started getting me to look at food as fuel,
It's a
Food's
tool.
just fuel.
It's a tool. It's a fuel.
Fuel.
Absolutely. And if you think about it the right
Yeah.
way and that approach, then you don't think about what tastes good. You give your body what it needs, and then you move on. Like if you stop looking for it as
Right.
like a pleasure, and you're not a fucking dog, you're not, okay, good boy, you deserve a treat. And that's what you get on a Friday night, or you go out to dinner and you celebrate.
Right.
There's too many damn fucking celebrations. There's too many celebrations. We
Yep.
we applaud ourselves for living and surviving, and it's really an escape mechanism. But what would you say? All right, so that being the case, I just want to actually continue down that road, but give you a little bit of a not a curveball, but a different angle on it. When because I got some people talking Brad Robinson on Facebook. You can't make people change, so obviously there's resistance. Obviously you're getting resistance from your sister, and you love her and you care about her, and you're only telling her and
Right.
making suggestions because you know what's possible, and you want to give, let them know that they can do it too, and you're just trying to share your positivity.
Yes.
And it's met with like,
Right.
that armor that you were dressing those characters with, in the video games. Like it's
Yeah.
just met with resistance. So what do you like? How do you react to that? Because I don't I mean,
Well,
you
at
still
first I was
you still
at
have that,
first I would get
but
first I
I
get kind of
because you have
angry.
that
At first
relationship,
I would be
you
kind
still
of
have that relationship with
yeah.
your sister. So how are you going to manage that?
Yeah. At first I was kind of angry, and I was kind of like, man, you're watching me do it.
Yeah.
You when you call me or something, I'm at the gym. You watch me do this. You watch me get off all my stuff that you think it's impossible for you and like your family. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like why? And so you said it make me frustrated, But then I just have to sit back and say, that's your life. That's your child. I
Mhm.
wish you guys the best. And if you want, you can come work out with me. If you want, you can come get some recipes for me. I'll come cook for you. Know what I mean? She just lives
Yeah,
like 2
well,
miles down the road. So, and that's that's my approach now. If you want to do this, if you want to do this, instead of, man, why aren't you doing this? You know what I mean? Because I mean that's what you want to, and I guess that's how my brain works. I look at somebody and I'm like, why wouldn't you want to do this? You see me do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it's hard. It was hard, dude. I'll be honest with you. When I first started doing it, it was hard. When I was really heavy and I didn't work out forever, it was fucking hard, and I wanted to give up a bunch of times. But after my first 10 pounds I lost, I was really excited. After my first
do you
20
feel like
pounds
it's
I lost,
really easy? Do you feel like it's really easier because you're still putting in the same work? You know, you're still going to the gym, you're still making the food. Do you feel like it's really easier, or you just have created the habit so it seems easier? It's like the same amount of work, right?
It's more habit now. It's more habit now because like I replaced other stuff. I got rid of my video game system. I sold it. I don't need it in my house.
Sure.
It's not good for me. I realized that. So now, and I just bought this house out in the country. So I do all this work out here, but everything I do now it's for me now in the present, and and for my future. And I never really looked at that again. Following you and listening to you and you say a lot of white shit, and a lot of people are like, oh, he curses, he this or that. So fuck for what, man? People and a sign of intelligence, the bitches.
Yeah, that's proven. So, they show that, right?
It is. It really is. It really is. So,
I made a joke about having, because they say that swearing, staying up late, and having a messy office or a messy room are signs of like intelligence. I'm like, I must be a fucking genius if that's the case.
Yeah, right.
The shit that I pull.
Cancer next.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah. So that's man, and it's all. I just want to say anybody can do it. Just start. Man, if you're listening right now and you're thinking about, oh, should I do this? Should I do it? Just start. Just do it. And I don't remember when I first started doing it, like 9 months ago. I made that video for you. Like when I was at the gym and I was talking about how yoga was kicking my ass. I thought it was just for girls,
Yeah.
When I first started doing yoga, man, I was highly, highly surprised at the benefits from it,
Sure.
And in the mobility and stuff. Like I said, you just riding my bike, man. I mean, I used to have to stop every 45 minutes or an hour when I used to wear a belt for my back, and I'd have to stop and take Advils for my shoulder and shit. I mean, dude, it was, I'm saying it was miserable, but man, I actually enjoyed it. I'm back to enjoying my life, and if you want to enjoy your life, sacrifice that hour, that 40 minutes a day, and everything else will just fall into place. And it really does.
And you realize how little it's not really a sacrifice when you get the benefits. Like, how much of a sacrifice is it really? You're adding. I mean, when people that are starting off, I mean, and you obviously you look at the word sacrifice differently now that you've had success. When you see the word sacrifice, it's actually a positive. Most people when they're starting out, they think of a sacrifice as a negative. Like, what am I losing? Oh, I'm working out, so I can't eat this, or I'm working out, so I can't go to the movies, or I can't do that because I have a gym membership now and I can't afford to do. It's not a sacrifice. Like, it's not something that you're, oh, I don't have, like that one gentleman. I don't know if how much of the show before you came on, you caught, but the message that I get, like, well, I don't have time to go, to be sweating at a gym. I have to work and go home with my family. I'm like, what do you, like, why is like sweating at a gym? Why is there like a negative connotation as if like you're just going, you're wasting your time. Like, I don't have time to go to the gym. It's like, this is not a luxury, like to have a six pack. We're talking about you living longer, not having a heart attack when you're 50.
And I was just about to say that all those people who say they don't have time because they have kids, they don't have this or that, the time you're actually going to lose is your future time. Because if you're not doing it now, you're going to be sick and you're going to be fucked up later in life. I live that life. Nobody wants to be sick every day. Dude, I'm telling you, it fucking sucks. You don't have no friends. People stop asking you to go places.
Yeah.
You lose your relationships with wives, girlfriends. Nobody wants to see somebody sick and fucked up.
Yeah.
You're a burden to people. And I'm not saying that to be shitty, but you're a fucking burden to people. So just undo that to be an unburden to and yourself. When you're sick all the time, the biggest burden is on yourself. You get mentally fucked up.
Yeah.
You really do. You start to feel like you're worthless. You start to feel like you got no place in the world, this and that. And that's kind of where I was at, man. And like I say, I owe you where I'm at right now. And that's why I tell everybody about you. I talk to you. That's why my family is sick of hearing about you. I'm just, but I don't care. I'm like you say, I'm going to push it down their throat until they finally start watching and they start doing this shit themselves, and start changing. I just want them to be, I guess when you start to feel this good, when you feel this shitty, you want everybody to feel it.
You want to share it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to share like positivity. It's just, it's not so much like, hey, you're gonna really love this t-shirt. Here, buy this t-shirt. And that's where it's a little bit different from my standpoint. It's like I'm not selling a pair of shoes where people know what a pair of shoes feels like. You know, when you're promoting changing life and habits and things that people have come to know and love to depend on in terms of entertainment and just their routine, it's really hard to. Someone has to be ready. They have to be
Yeah,
really
you
ready,
have to be
and
ready, and you have to have the want. You know, you have to have the absolute want to do it, because if you're not ready and you don't have the want, dude, like you said, you can buy anybody's program. You can spend money on anything. You can have that fucking shit food delivered to your house. You
yeah.
can, buy hip hop abs. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But
Not
if
bad.
you're not applying it,
Not
and if
bad.
you're not actually doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? If you're not doing it, then why waste your money? Why waste the effort? Why waste the thought on it? You know? And you're I love the Swolenormous X. Like I was a premium guy before, because I was on Facebook all the time. And then once I switched to X, it's everything's right there. I mean, if you don't know what to do or where to begin, just go there, and it tells you, boom, you start right the fuck here. You do this.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do this for this day. You do this for that day. So I live way out in the country, so I don't have like good internet. So I have all my shit written down. So when I go to the gym, I have my, people look at me, but I have all my papers, my shit, and that's what I do. I do my program. I do my program. Now I'm trying to start doing more days like, I try to. I'm having a hard time switching up doing like a bodybuilder set where I do this one day, because then I don't put my yoga in there, And I try to
Okay.
do my mobility stuff every day before I work out. But when I'm trying to do like a bodybuilder, I'm having a hard time like throwing my
So
yoga in there because I do that for that long.
so do you
So that's why I
mean,
like doing the program.
yeah, let me just slow you. So in terms of and we'll go down the more tactical road right now. So you said you're
Mm-hmm.
doing your bodybuilding split. You mean you're having trouble because you're splitting up your body parts more often, you're having trouble figuring out where to put yoga?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly. Because like I'm trying to do. Man, my mom's always like, "Oh, your arms are so skinny," but the truth is, like, I've never had muscle. It takes a long time to build muscle.
it
People don't
does.
realize that.
It
You
does.
lose your weight first, and then, like I said, like once you lose all that weight, and like I kind of have a little loose skin around my belly, but that's because it was so stretched out, and I'm trying to really work on that. But
Mhm.
other than that, man, but as far as like size, I'm skinny, but like you can see, like if I flex, you can see cuts. You know what I mean? Like you can see my muscles. You can
Sure.
see,
Yeah.
and they're coming through and they're building. But shit, it takes fucking time.
Sure
Like
does.
people, you see those fake fucking people, and that's why I call them the fake people. They're like, they're standing there with bodies like you, and they're like, you get this in fucking 90 days. Just buy my program, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna walk out of the gym on your 90th day, and this is what you're gonna fucking look like. You're
Yeah,
gonna look just
bullshit.
like me.
Yeah.
The fuck, man? Because just like you, they've been doing it their whole lives. You've been doing it your whole life. That's why you look like that.
Well, shit,
You know?
bro. It's like those classic
And
commercials with the Bowflex. You get a guy who's like a pro fucking bodybuilder, get him to pose on a
yeah,
Bowflex, like buy the Bowflex, with this workout. And you got this guy who's never used a Bowflex in his life, listen to the gym, takes
right,
takes fucking anabolic steroids. You get him on a Bowflex. Of course, he's gonna
yeah,
look shredded and just veiny and
right.
pumped beyond belief.
Shredded the best. Yeah,
Yeah, like
the
he's
V body,
modeling, he's
the
modeling your
fucking
fucking thing.
yep.
He's never done a Bowflex in his life.
Mhm. Yep, and them dudes, they don't eat shit, and all they do is consume chemicals and shoot shit in their ass, and
Yeah.
and then they're trying to promote that fucking stuff. And
Yeah.
that's why once I was taking protein powders and all that stuff until I started eating good food. Remember, and you're like, dude, you gotta get off those powders, and I was like, man, I need them. Remember, and then when I first quit, I was like, man, I'm having a hard time with my workouts. I can't finish them. You're like, it's all mental. It's all mental. Just getting it. Remember that shit?
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah.
just like, I don't know. It was all mental. It's the same shit. You gotta look at it different. You're used to that little push. You're used to that little buzz from a pre-workout or whatever to get you going. But once you get off that stuff,
Yeah, so
and
much
like
of
now, like I have to, I have to drink juice before I go to the gym. I drink a big glass of juice so I don't drop, and my blood sugar doesn't drop.
sure.
But other than that, that's my pre-workout. I drink a glass of juice so my blood sugar doesn't drop.
I mean,
That's my
everyone's different
pre-workout.
when it comes to pre-work. I mean, a lot of that's the associated stimulants. Some people are really sensitive to caffeine. Most of those things are just caffeine based. I mean, if you get used to drinking coffee,
Oh yeah,
you're gonna need either more coffee or you take a pre-workout that has the equivalent of like 6 cups of coffee, and of course you're gonna fucking feel amped. You just took like
oh yeah.
literal
Some of that shit's
stimulant
like
right to the fucking brain, like you're a freaking Inca warrior
yeah.
going like into battle. You just take a hit and you're like, and go rage front of the
Like
line.
I was gonna say, I've never done meth or crack, but man, some of that stuff, like my cousin, they've lifted and actually tried some of their pre-workout, and like, you take some of that stuff and like you get so fucked up and crazy, and like, it's like I had to go home from the gym one day. I was like, dude, I feel like I'm on a fucking drug.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
feel like
shit,
you can get really lightheaded. You can get, I mean, some of the stuff that they've
yeah,
banned. I mean, I don't know how. I'm not a big fan of banning shit. I think you could. I think things should be left up to an individual as long as it's not something like um, literally meth, but things like 1,3-dimethyl, things that are really fucking stimulants that really work, but they ban those things. But some of the stuff that they put in there, you don't even know. They don't even test it. They just
no, no,
throw it in there and
yeah,
say, "Hey, get bigger, get stronger,
yeah,
have
and I
have
know
a
like,
better workout."
yeah. Yeah, I've even seen dudes here like they try to make their own pre-workout and shit. They get like at the gym, they're like, "Oh, I just made this pre-workout stuff," and I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? Just why? Like why?" And then like they're all like doing those, I don't know what the machine is where you stand on and like you like skiing, like you know what I mean, like the
Yeah,
um like cross country ski machine, and
yeah.
and they're on there just like tearing that thing up. Just like, man, you're not supposed to learn that shit. The fuck. So so I just like I said, I enjoy where I'm at now. Like and when you talk about like mentally, like I've gone through like my divorce since I started doing this. I
Yeah,
I lost my she got the house, so I had to start over with a new house, and mentally, that shit drains you.
that's a
But
lot of stress,
I
man.
also too, it is. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of fuck with your head. Thank God we didn't have kids, but she kept 2 dogs. I kept 2 dogs, so it's like missing that shit. You always have distractions. You always have something going on in life. Always, and that's what you say. You have to adapt. You always have something going on, even on your best days. There's shit going on.
There's always something to do,
There's
man.
always something going on.
There's always
Yeah,
something. There's always something to do, and I load my plate up as much as the next person, and I never get everything done every day. So it's like either you freaking get up ready to crush the next day, or you look at it as a loss. But you got to challenge
yeah,
yourself. You have to. I mean, the challenge for myself and for most people is just to be consistent. Like today, I got a lot of stuff that I could do besides going to the gym or doing. I'll do something, whether it's yoga or
right.
a lift. Like I'll do something. Like I'll probably do a nice deep stretching or something. But it's about just the consistency and being disciplined, and being
Yeah.
consistent is sometimes the biggest part of it. And
Oh
I
yeah.
personally have just created my workout plan about just going to the gym and then figuring it out after I actually make it there. I think we worry too much about the planning and all the details, and then we don't even fucking make it. It's like, well, what's all this planning for? If you're not
Yeah.
going to actually execute on it. And I think a lot of times, and you've probably heard me mention before, and you can drop your thoughts on this as well, after I lay it out, that there's too much higher level and up in the trees or up in the clouds planning in terms of fitness, in terms of nutrition and exercise. And I always say it's so very simple, just freaking do the basics. And again, with supplements, people are looking for a quicker fix or something to take in order to get results rather than uh, master the foundational approaches like getting their exercise on point and getting their nutrition on point. You're looking for like what exercise is best for this part of my quads or this part of my biceps. What supplement should I take in order to, lose weight? What's a good fat burner? Like, what about simplicity? How'd simplicity take a role in your approach or your success? Because I feel like that's foundational in me being consistent right now.
Yeah, that's absolute truth. The simpler you can make it, the more you want to do it. And like I said, the 90-day dash makes exercise simple. The way you plan out food, like all these people, I mean, they're like, oh, food's so expensive. This is so expensive. Dude, I have way more money now, and I eat like a fucking king.
I agree.
I eat so much. I mean, I eat so much. Like you said, I can't even finish my meal because there's so much shit on there.
Yes,
I
I
make two
agree.
sweet potatoes, and I eat. I make like a pound. I have 3 dogs too, so they eat my shit. But I eat a pound of meat, or make a pound of meat. And I eat like half of it, or a three-quarter. You know what I mean? And that's hard to eat that kind of shit. I mean, over and over and over, like you said, you just feel fucking stuffed.
I do
You
not
just feel
think
stuffed.
I do not think it's that expensive. I
It isn't, and
I don't
you
spend
can
that much money.
be a smart shopper, dude. Buy that shit when it's on sale. Everybody has a freezer, so when they have the grass fed beef on sale, you go buy that shit. You could just buy 10 or 12 pounds, whatever you can
Yeah.
afford. Just plan out. When I go to the grocery store now, I usually get a week. Here's what I do for a week. I usually get 30 or 40 pounds of good meat. And then I get sweet potatoes, juice, and then I get some coconut milk if I have to cook with something. You know what I mean? That's pretty much that's my
Well,
staple. That's
when
what
people
I
say that
go for.
food's expensive, I mean, sweet potatoes are what, 70 cents a pound, a dollar, maybe at the
Fuck
most,
yeah,
like out of,
yeah. Or you can.
I
I get
mean,
mine on sale. So after they sit there for like a week, they put them on sale and they're so good. I get like a whole bag of them for like a dollar something. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I mean,
Especially like
you
the
fill
little
up a
mini market
huge
I go to.
bag, and then I get to the front
Oh yeah,
and I look at this bag and I'll have them ring it up and it's like 3.97. You got
yep.
15 freaking sweet potatoes. Like,
3.97.
get the hell out
Yep,
of here. Look at all this. And you think about how like that's 2 weeks of carbs, right
yep,
there. And it's just it's amazingly satisfying. It's just, and
yep.
when you add
And
up,
people are
like,
like, oh, the same thing.
yeah,
You can mix it up. You
sure,
can put that good butter in it. You can put a little cinnamon in it. You don't have to eat just a sweet baked sweet. I do. I
sure.
love it. I love especially organic ones. I think they taste way better and
Yeah.
they just have way better
Well, also
flavor.
depending on how people
Um,
eat, if you average out the cost, so many times people are looking at
yep,
the meat, like, oh, grass-fed meat, it's $8 a pound. Okay, well, if you're looking at, shittier quality meat, for $2, $3, but then you're offsetting it by not eating
yep,
all these chips and sodas and all this other garbage, and
yep,
you're getting sweet potatoes and kale for, like, let's say sweet potatoes 60 cents a pound, and it offsets that
yep.
price. Like, where are you missing money
Oh,
at?
hugely. Like I said, I have way more. Like when I would go grocery shopping before,
Yeah, man.
you're
Yeah.
buying frozen pizzas, you're buying lunch meat, you're buying all this bullshit, milk, this and that. You have a whole cart full of shit,
They
and you
trick
get
you
up
with
there
that
and it's
stuff.
two
It
hundred bucks.
looks cheap sometimes, but
Yeah,
they, like, I've seen, come on, those, like, the bag of Tostitos that's half empty is like $5.
yep, yep, $5, dude. And so $5 here, $5 there, $5 there. Next thing you know, you have nothing nutritious, no fucking food. All you got is a bunch of junk shit food, frozen food,
That's
and
the
your bill's two
problem,
hundred
though.
dollars.
What you just said, there's no nutrition. So you're
Yep,
getting a
yep,
$5 bag of Tostitos. You eat them really quickly because it's very processed. Your body doesn't get the signals around in time. You overeat them, and then your body goes through. And I always equate junk food and empty food like that is the equivalent to your body, or it's equivalent to you. And for anyone that's listening and watching, this is a really good way to think about junk food. Getting or eating junk food, expecting to have any kind of, like, forget the calories, any kind of nutritious value, any kind of caloric density where you're getting micronutrients and the benefits of actual food, is the equivalent of going into a dumpster, like literally trash dumpster, and trying to find, like, a perfectly unscathed, like, steak dinner on a plate, with a side, like a perfectly
yep,
intact meal, which you're not going to find that. It's a fucking dumpster. But that's what your body does when it's going through your stomach, looking through chips and fast food and crap. It's like looking for shit, so that once it goes through that and realizes there's nothing here, I'm still dying without these nutrients, it knocks on the door and you start feeling hungry again. That's why after shitty meals, you get hungry quick. And I'm sure you dealt with that a
yep.
lot, when you were,
Oh yeah,
not
oh
on.
yeah. Oh yeah, and then you want to so that's not so you eat like something shitty, and then you have to eat something more shitty. You
Yeah.
have to eat something more shitty because your body never feels satisfied. Like I
Hmm.
said, I feel satisfied. I eat now. Like I said, I eat a lot of ground beef just because it's on sale a lot and it's just easy. It's just I bake burgers, I throw it on
Hmm.
the grill, and it's easy. And then I bake sweet potatoes or I put them in the microwave. You do whatever you have to do. Like I said, again, it's fuel.
Yeah,
People look at food as a fucking pleasure. You know,
I
look at something
agree.
else's pleasure. So if you want to go out and have an amazing fucking say, oh man, that's what people do. They spend their money, they work so they can go out to eat. And I did that. When I was big, we ate out. My wife and I, we ate out every meal. Even though I cooked, I didn't want to cook at home, so we ate out every meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then you eat
And that's just
whatever
what a lot
anyone
of
else wants to
Americans
cook
do.
with. And if you're a cook, it's
Yep.
okay. Well, it's plain chicken breast, and they're still putting fucking shitty
Yep.
oils on it and all those, like,
Ugh.
aerosols. And
I
yeah, you're getting
And
crap.
I check. I just just like you said. I like you cook like with oils on it. So when I cook for my family now, I trick them. I cook all healthy shit. I use like coconut oil, and
Yeah.
I make them I make them like healthy shit. And like if I do meat, I marinate it in just like oils and spices instead of like that sugary type of fucking sauces and shit they put on there.
Right.
And they're
Right.
like,
That
man,
breaks
this is
down
so
the
good.
meat and
What'd you
whatever.
do? And I'm just like, it's just. Yeah, I'm like, it's just like, balsamic vinegar and some oil and some, juice and, some lime juice and shit.
A
And
fucking
like,
steak
wow,
is, if you do it right, salt and pepper, like a
yeah,
little garlic, you're
yeah.
golden.
Oh yeah.
If you know
Oh
how to
yeah.
cook,
Yeah.
a little oil and butter.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And if you ever have a doubt on how to cook anything, if you want to try eating healthy, Google it.
Just fucking
Just Google
okay.
it.
All
Google
right.
how to do it. Watch a fucking video.
All right. How about this, bro? Let's talk about this since you're a chef and all that.
Yeah.
Like we talk about, and since you're a part of the community, talk about the elimination diet and cutting out inflammatory foods, and you've had success with dairy and all that stuff.
Mhm.
What about? I get a lot of messages because I'm putting out some more nutrition content. I'm creating like a little recipe, like, hey,
Mhm.
how I eat and like stuff that I do. So I'm gonna be releasing
Right.
that, in the near future. But a lot of people that are just messaging and that I think they feign, like they pretend almost like that they're lost when it comes to nutrition. Like, how fucking easy is it just to go on Google? Like, if you're watching this or listening to this podcast,
Yes.
you have literally every recipe known to humankind. Okay, so you have a couple foods, type them in the Google search bar and you'll get 1,000 recipes in under a millisecond. Like, it's
Yeah. And if you're
unbelievable.
really picky, I'll
Yeah,
type
go
in
ahead.
5-star. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that easy.
Yeah.
People think they want to make shit difficult because they don't want to do it. The more difficult it is,
Yeah.
and the more difficult they want to seem in their head,
But
that makes
it's
that
perceived. It's
people.
perceived difficulty
Yep.
because it's not like literally you go into Google and put the foods in and say recipe with
Yep.
avocado, lettuce, kale, and beef, or whatever, like literally whatever combination you want, and you will get.
Right.
I said 1,000. I that's literally probably
Yep.
100,000. I mean, like, not to mention
Yeah.
5-star reviews. You want a video,
every
like,
ethnic kind of.
yeah,
Yep.
and they'll have a shopping
Every.
list.
Yep.
I mean, like it'll give you like,
Yep.
how would you like it cooked? Do you have a broiler? No. Do you have a toaster oven? No. Do you have a blender? It's like it'll give you all the other options or associated
Right.
recipes that could be done. So yeah, it's the time. It's the time. But I mean, how fucking lazy can you be that you can't literally Google that? So
Yep.
that's a stupid
Dude,
excuse.
I think that all the time. I'll watch a show and some of these questions that some of the people ask are like, "Are you guys fucking who dresses you in the morning? You really know that you shouldn't be eating that shit or doing that shit. You know,
Who dresses you?
want somebody to say,
Who wipes your bum?
yeah,
Who
seriously,
wipes your
man.
booty?
Like yeah. I mean, it's like it's really weird. It's like we all know. Everybody that's listening to this knows what good food is and what bad food is. But for some reason, they think like they think that the food that they're eating justifies the lifestyle that they're living. And I did that too. You want to go out, you want to eat good food, you want to do this, you want to have a good time, you want to, like, find pleasure in it, and once you start finding pleasure in food and start finding another thing, like if you're going to spend $60 at a restaurant, you and your wife are going to go out and just have just a normal dinner. That's not even a fancy dinner, just a normal dinner. That's $60.
That's
you put that $60 towards your
that's
house.
probably
Or something
that's
else,
probably low.
then,
That's probably on the low end too. $60. I mean, that's
yeah, but I live in Indiana, so
no. I'm
pretty
saying
cheap here.
I'm saying that's like
Everything's
I'm saying that's like literally
yeah,
no joke. That's a straight minimum. Like, even if
yeah,
you're going to like a Ruby
yeah,
Tuesday, you're paying $60
yep,
plus. Like, you're
yep, yep.
any kind of meal like in South Florida,
And,
you're
and for what? It's not consistent. The food's not consistent at a restaurant. Most of the time it's shit. It depends on who's cooking. It's this or that. And when you can take that money and find, like I said, you can buy groceries at home. You can make your date night at home, cook that shit at home, and then find pleasure in other things. Watch a movie, give each other a massage. Let's go have some epic sex. Do anything else other than
yeah.
find pleasure in food. Find pleasure in other stuff in your relationship other than going out and pleasing each other with food. I mean, that's ridiculous, and that's what our society does.
Yeah.
Like you said, on birthdays we go for food. Valentine's Day we go to a nice restaurant.
It's all
This day, we
food,
go for this,
everything. Well, what about
food,
what about
food.
what about Super Bowl that's turned into like its own mini holiday? That's
Oh
all
yeah.
about food.
Oh yeah.
There's
Shit
really
food.
there's
Not even like meal.
no, there's no holiday. There's no holiday that's not about,
yeah.
like, find a holiday that's not about food. Easter, chocolate and candy.
Yeah.
Like, find something. Find one.
Yeah.
There's not one holiday. Even when you look at it, Thanksgiving and Halloween are literally specifically about food. If it's not about food specifically, we make it like a thing, like 4th of July. It's supposed to be about independence and freedom and doing what's right in the world, or what we hope to be correct, and it's just about history, and we make it about barbecuing and grilling and doing a 3-day thing and a long weekend and vacation and all the sales. And it's just literally every holiday is either specifically for food with the purpose of food, or Lent is like the opposite. It's like, don't eat anything, avoid everything, and then binge afterwards. Do penance.
Yeah, it's really messed up how our society is, and Like I always joke, I was joking around with you before, like why don't they teach your program in school? You know, like if the kids were introduced, like if I was introduced to the 90-day dash when I was young, I'm guaranteed I wouldn't have had all those health problems. You know what I mean? If people were just
No
introduced to
one
some kind
would.
of program, not just a fucking gym class like climbing a rope, but a
I
serious, you
know.
know, this is
That's
this is exercise. This is what your body needs. This is instead of being like,
that's so
oh yeah,
broken.
you know,
The school
yeah,
system is
here's our
the gym. It's gym in school is that's like the least of that's the least of the school's problems. Like that's it's at the foundation of every fucking issue. And
oh
just the
yeah,
education
oh yeah,
period, especially with like the student loans into college and what kids are being taught at the lower levels, like lacking exercise, lacking practical knowledge and exploration, just being a machine. There's a lot of issues. Like now
oh yeah.
with technology and having perspective, part of me is like, what the like it's
So I feel like like
it's so obvious.
it's part of the awakening. Like since I found you, it's been part of my awakening. You know, this is like the last thing I really needed to get myself on point.
Yeah.
You've given me now the knowledge and the fuel to live a long, healthy life. And like you said, everybody has different goals. My body is never going to look like yours. Even if I busted my balls, I just didn't start soon enough. But I'm not going for the bio. I just want to be healthy. I just want to be where I'm not sick anymore. I
Yeah.
just want to be where I'm not in pain anymore.
There's
And
a
I've accomplished that.
And
You know
those
what I mean?
are
And now I just want
those
to
are
keep it
realistic
up.
goals, but that's also
Yeah.
and it's one thing to sell yourself short and to not even fucking try and not try to always, do more and do better and improve yourself and being realistic. So it's not like being a negative thing, but you also have to have reality. When someone asks me to lose 20 pounds in 3 weeks, it's like, no, you're like,
You
what are you
can't.
trying to
It's physically
accomplish?
impossible. You're going to make yourself sick. You're going to hurt yourself.
Having
You know,
realistic
and
goals is
even like
great.
yeah, you got to have a realistic goal. And when I first started, I really didn't have any goals. I just started going to the gym. I just started going to the gym. I just started lifting weights and doing whatever else was doing. And the weight started coming off, eat better. The weight, once you move, when you haven't been moving, it just happens.
Well, you started
But then
making
I
the
got to the point,
habit.
like I said, where
You start actually doing
yep,
something and
yep, habit. But if
mhm.
you don't have that foundation, and you always talk about foundation, and that's what I got to stress with everybody. If you haven't done the 90-day dash, do it. That's where you're going to get your foundation. That's where you build the base of your pyramid. Then, like I said, when I first started, I was so wobbly. When you I don't know the technical names of where you put your leg up, you put it up to the side, and you bring the weights up. When I was doing that, dude, and that's on the premier week. When I was doing that, I was wobbling, falling over. I had to catch myself. I had my ankles were weak. Everything was so weak.
Oh yeah,
And
you
now,
feel
dude,
it.
I climbed a fence the other day.
Yeah.
I've never climbed a fence in my life. I've always been heavy. Being fat, 100, 320 pounds, climbing fences aren't your thing. I
Yeah.
climbed a 6 foot like chain link fence the other day,
Sure.
like with no problems. I was just fucking around with my dog as the ball went over. And I was like, man, I have to walk all the way over there. And I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna climb this fence. And it was
Yeah.
easy,
It's
right up,
like
right over it.
you're still seeing shit that you're doing like, "Oh man, did I just climb that fence?"
Yeah,
You probably started doing it and then like halfway up or after like walking away from it, you're thinking, "Did I just climb a fence just because?"
yeah, halfway up, or when I was at the top, I was like, shit, I just like climbed right over it. And I was like, man, this is easy as shit. Like, I was fat, I couldn't even get over a 4 foot fence.
Uh,
But your body improves, man. I have a huge yard now, like a 2 acre yard, and I maintain it myself. And like when I first moved in here, the house was a wreck. The yard hadn't been touched in 5 years, so
yeah.
I had to cut down all these trees, and I'm doing it all myself, and I'm able to do it myself. I mean, that's why I want to thank you. I'm able now. I'm able to do it. I wasn't able before, and now I am. And that's just the biggest thing, man. I'm able to do stuff that I couldn't do before.
And
I just, I know it
it's
sounds
super
stupid, but I'm gonna call my ex-wife and be like, "Look who I could really be." You know what I'm saying? Look who I could really be. I'm not just a fat turd. Look. But I think, some people need guidance. I didn't know where to start. I
I
just
mean,
started,
I appreciate that. I mean,
where
it's
everyone else was.
flattering to say when okay, it's because of you and your program, but I just want to turn that spotlight back around again on you and it's like, well, I agree. It's a great program. I put my heart and soul into it and I'm super proud of it, but you still did, man. I mean, it goes right back to you. It's only
Oh
as
yeah,
good as the application of it. So I mean, if you joined and you had
thank
it
you.
sitting there on your phone or you printed it out or whatever and you had it sitting there in front of your gym or in your car, it wouldn't have done anything. So it all comes down to
Right.
you taking action. Like you said, you just started. So you went to the gym and you just started doing stuff, and eventually, okay, you got hurt, things happen, but you found your path, but you didn't give up. Like you would have
No,
tried my program or gone back or been consistent. Like you have to do. Once you start doing, it leads to more doing. That's all it is. It's just
it
changing your
does.
habit from
It
not
does.
doing shit to
The
doing shit.
doing leads to more doing, and it gets easier. And the doing gets easier, and that's what I want to stress. It gets easier.
Mm,
Changing your
the
lifestyle is
habit,
hard
the
for
habit. Yeah.
anybody. It's changing your habits. I mean, and they say it takes 28 days to break a true habit.
Mm,
And me, it took longer than that. I wanted to. I would crave milk. After I did the elimination diet, and I knew I couldn't have milk anymore. Um, when I would drink milk, like I literally looked like I gained 20 pounds. Looked like I was pregnant. My
you get
belly
bloated
was
like
so
crazy,
bloated.
huh? You
My
get real bloated.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was taking for 15 years. I was taking this medicine called Reglan, which is horrible. It has horrible side effects. And my doctor's like, you should really get off this. I was like, well, I can't. Look at what's going on. And even when I'm in the hospital, I've been in there throwing up and feeling like shit. I'd always be drinking milk, and I would stay in there longer. And no one, I'm gonna say my doctors are stupid, but they just never even like put two and two together or anything. You know what I mean?
Dude.
And then like when I did the elimination
Yeah.
diet, and I was like, no milk. I can't have lentils, man. Lentils for some reason, man, they really make my stomach
It's
pop out.
it's a
It's just all
legume. It's a legume. You're probably
yeah.
lectin intolerances and
So,
stuff. Like that's a big one. I mean, a lot of people that
so,
go. One thing I do want to I mean, like it's right there with what you said. I spent some time in like nursing homes since my grandparents passed, and I've been around some
mhm,
other people that are close relatives and stuff, and family of friends and acquaintances that are in that situation in hospitals, and the food that they
mhm,
feed in hospitals, the food that they're feeding in
yeah,
hospitals is like literally it looks like a kindergarten lunch. It's like a
yeah,
container of milk and a bowl of just shitty, like, sugar soaked fruit, like from a can, it looks like,
yep,
or from one of those like little fruit cups that's just soaked in sugar.
mhm,
And then like pasta and just like this fucking processed carbohydrates. I'm like, what the fuck are you feeding it?
oh, yeah,
You want this person to get better? They're sucking down garbage milk,
yeah,
and it's disgusting. It's
yep.
disgusting.
That's a. I got sick about 2 months ago. Remember I went to the hospital. I got really dehydrated. I got the flu really bad. And they wouldn't let me leave until they want to put me on this liquid diet. But the liquid diet it was like all cream soups, milk, Jello, pudding.
Fuck.
I was like, I'm fucking one. I'm diabetic, guys. I said I can't eat this shit.
That shows
They're
up
like,
like
well,
they get it.
you need
They
calories and
load it off
sugars.
a truck from a
Yeah,
box and they just heat it up in a
yeah,
microwave
dude.
too. No, it's gross.
And then
That
you
stuff
eat
is
that shit, and
nasty.
then you start to feel so sick after eating it, and you're like, oh, we need more meds, we need more this. And
Yeah,
I'm just like, I just want to go
maybe
home
more
and eat
meds.
fucking real food,
Yeah, it's
man.
like right.
Quit pumping me full of drugs.
No,
And that's
that's
the thing
what they
too. Like, when you go to the
want.
hospital or drugs, 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 drugs. You can get off. I'm telling you, people, you can get off all your drugs. Not all of them. 'Cause I don't know about your heart pills and shit. But you have high cholesterol, you can get off that shit. You have high blood pressure, you can get off that. Insulin, you can lower it drastically.
That's a little bit.
You
That's a
know,
challenge from my
stomach pills,
aspect
you can get
because
off
I
that
have to
shit.
be careful, and I'm actually very conscious of it. And for anyone that messages me specifically about diet, another major reason why I never say do this because it's a legal liability. I record everything I do.
Sure.
I'm always on a live stream. Like everything's recorded, everything's, logged. I'm not going to tell someone, "Hey, you should eat this. It's going to cure your cancer." You can't say shit like that. Even if you want to like I can't I don't go against medical advice. So when I get
Yeah.
messages from
I
people,
have been.
okay, but
Now
I can't
my
tell you to
doctor
do
told.
that because I'll get messages from people
No, I know.
that
No, I know
say
you can't. But
like my doctor
yeah,
told me to eat this, that, and the other. And I want to tell them that your doctor is a fucking idiot. You should ignore everything they're telling you and go find someone else that's not stupid and go on Google.
yeah,
But I can't say that. So I just literally have to say, this is what I do. If I would do
right,
this, I would do this. And then they
yeah,
can take from it what they want. But I literally can't go against medical advice. It sucks because I don't know where I don't know. I said this the other day on the show. Like every doctor is like
I
learning
feel
from
the
someone that
same way
know.
as you.
Go ahead.
I feel the same way as you. Once I start listening to you, I don't trust my doctors at all now. Once I've almost healed myself, dude, and I haven't been doing this for people may think I've been doing this for years and years and years. And that's how I healed myself. I did this all within the first 5 months of just doing it. Of just
Yeah,
busting my ass and actually doing it. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
that's and we're talking. They wanted to cut me open, dude. I'm 42. They wanted to do back surgery. They wanted to fucking replace that whole thing on my shoulder.
Yeah, there's
You know what I
no
mean? They
coming
wanted
back. You
to
get
cut
back
me open.
surgery, you're freaking like
Yeah,
it's
dude.
really
42.
super high
Yeah,
risk, super high risk.
yeah. And I have to believe, and I have to believe because I've been in the hospital and around doctors my whole life because I've been sick. Uh, they know this shit. They know that you can just do suck and tucks and you get your band around your fucking waist and put everything back into place. I have to believe that they know this,
No,
but
they don't.
instead,
They don't.
you,
They
they don't.
don't. They don't. Honestly, like I've it's hard to say. It's hard to it's hard to come to that realization, but they
Yeah.
don't. You know, when you think about
Mm,
what, like, I mean, a lot, some of them do. All right, some people know
right.
things. You don't have, but now with the technology and stuff, you don't have to be a doctor to have access to this information. So just because you don't have a medical degree and you don't have all that experience doesn't mean you don't have the right answer either. So you have people
Right.
that, okay, you don't believe a doctor, but then it's like, who do you believe? There's a lot of people, you know, the problem with the internet is that everyone has a voice, which is good and bad.
Right.
You get a lot of information, you have access to a lot of stuff, but then everyone can put their own fucking word in and 2 cents in. So who do you listen to?
Yeah.
I Instead of saying, because I'm not saying that I'm right either and the doctors are wrong. It's just that when your doctor is in the field for 40 years and they had to be taught by someone, they are learning from a doctor ingrained in their habits that went to medical school in the
Yes.
40s and 50s. And what are you learning in the 40s and 50s? Do you really, like, if your doctor literally went to school in the 40s and time traveled to today, I don't think you'd want to take their advice. Right?
Right.
Like, and think
Oh,
about how
fuck no.
crazy that is.
No way.
If you went back to the Civil War and you transported a doctor, same level of appreciation in
Yeah.
society, and you time traveled them today, they're going to be putting mercury up your asshole and trying to bleed you out because you had a
Right.
cut and a wound, and yeah, you die pretty quickly. So there's a lot that we've learned in the last fucking 150 years, obviously. And why would that be any different in the last 30 years? All of a sudden, just because your doctor still wears a white coat, they have the absolute answer? That's ludicrous. That's a
Right.
ludicrous way of thinking. That's just absolutely ignorant. Not to mention, you put 100 doctors or still 100 human beings, you're going to have differing opinions, and they're all doctors. So who's really right? It's kind of scary how much stock we put
Yeah.
into other people with this
Who's
illusion that
right
they
and how
have the
ethical are they
answer.
too?
The answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. Like,
They're
go ahead.
they're pushing new meds on everybody that hasn't been tested just because that's
Because the
the new
reps
med and that's because
because the reps are
yep, they want to get paid
hammering.
for it. Yep.
Yeah, the reps are
Yep.
hammering. They're bombarding the doctor's offices every single day. A friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, is a pharmaceutical rep. And
Yep.
he just brings lunch to everyone. He brings lunch to all the
Yep.
doctors. He just brings them lunch, gives them their card, and like, hey, you might want to try passing these out, or here's some samples, or check this out. It's a great new X, Y, and Z for what, it doesn't matter. It's just they're getting,
And I get it too.
yeah.
And on the flip side, doctors see people just like you, people that come in there and they're like, hey, and they can't say, hey, you fat piece of shit, you need to quit. Close your fucking mouth, like you say.
I
Close
agree.
your fucking mouth. And you quit doing. They
That's a
can't
problem
insult
too.
somebody. They can't do that.
Yes,
And so and people aren't. And on the flip side, I guess I have to look and squash my own comment, I guess, and say, if my doctor, has been telling me my whole life, diabetic doctor, you need to exercise, you need to do
yeah.
this, and I just didn't do it. You know what I mean? I just didn't do it.
Well, I think
I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck until I had to give a fuck.
yeah,
You know what I
well,
mean?
that's
And
the way most
that's the
people
truth
are,
of it.
but and I have to actually, play
Yeah.
both sides of the coin too, and that doesn't mean that all, like, of course that all doctors want, you're trying to scam you. That's not true. Like, people want to, a lot of
Right.
these people want to help, or they originally got into medicine because of this altruistic vision of, okay, I'm going to help people, or I'm going to cure the sick, this, that, and the other. And they get just churned up into this fucking machine that just runs them through a grinder and then just turns them into zombies that they're forced to. Like you said, your doctor can't.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the doctor said, you're a fat piece of shit, like, you need to get in shape? Someone would sue that doctor and they
Yeah.
lose their license
Oh
and
yeah.
ethics, and you can't. So that's part of why
Yeah.
I say certain things, because what are you going to do? Sue me for freedom of speech? It's like, then go watch something else.
Right.
I'm going to say what
Right.
I think, because, and that's, that's another reason why I don't wear a shirt. One, it's hot as fucking hell, so I don't wear a shirt because why? And also, it's like little subtleties of I'll do what I want. Why are you wearing sunglasses? Because I fucking feel like it. So it's like do what I want, but it's you have to be reminded sometimes that even people that want to help can't always help. So the system is hamstringing doctors that maybe even want to help and break the system. And then they want to do some new studies or new research. And then they have to make sure that, like, how do they prescribe or recommend things that might cause risk? Like, everyone's trying not to get sued. Like, especially in the
Yeah.
medical community, they're trying not to get sued. So
Oh
they have
yeah.
to tiptoe and pussyfoot around everything. It's like, you just can't help people,
Yeah.
even if you want to help people.
Right. And I'm a firm believer. I believe in God, and I believe like that. I believe in that. I believe that things happen for a reason. And I really believe that where I was at in my life, like God put you in my life to help me. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I tell that to everybody. I was at a point where I was depressed, and I was just so shitty because I couldn't do anything anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was going back to being fat, dude, and I was depressed. And like I said, I just God always puts things in my life like right when I need them, and that was just the thing. And just the words you were saying and the words you used, like I said, just touched me. And it just, I had to follow you from there, and I'm hooked. And whenever I get a free time, and you beep and it chimes on my phone, I got to put it on. And it's just, I want more knowledge and more knowledge. Sometimes it's just too much. Like when I first started, when you opened the site, you kept adding stuff, and then you added the personal trainer, and I was just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna do all this stuff now, but because I was just like, I want to do it all, I want to try it all. Like,
Yeah.
man, like I say, your word in the fitness world is gold, man. I mean, you've never
I
steered me
appreciate that.
wrong, you've never bullshitted me, and I've only seen, and my friends and my family have only seen results. I mean, people that work at the gym, they're like, man, your waist looks way different. What have you been doing? You don't even go in the ab room. And I was like, fuck that ab room.
I'm working my core the right way. Yeah, right.
Yeah, doing the shit the right way. Do some planks and shit. I said,
Sure.
fuck that room. I said, unless you're just going in there for you want to build up a quick sweat and like you're kind of using that as like a cardio shit. It's not doing nothing.
Yeah.
I said it's not doing that, and you can see. And I tell them, I said you can see. Or someone will be like, man, your shoulders look. How are you doing that stuff when your shoulders look fucked up? And I'm like, have you ever heard of the floor cobras? And like, no. Now I get down on the floor. I don't give a fuck where I'm at the restaurant. I'll get down on the floor and show people floor cobras. I'm like, this is how you do it. Boom, heal your shoulder. I swear to God, that's the best thing.
Yeah,
I think
cobras are great.
I know all the other stuff helps, but man, that's one of the things that when I first started doing it, my shoulder was shaking and shaking and shaking, and now it's just like
all those
smooth,
stabilizers firing, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude,
for
I'm telling you.
sure.
So
For sure, the
yeah,
cobras.
so like I said, that's a bit of my story,
You're
and
the man, bro.
I feel blessed, and I feel that if I can do it, like I said, I think anybody can do it. It's just
They
you got to have
can.
the want.
Everyone can. You have to have your vision and your
Yeah.
reason, and it might not be so cut and dry. Like, do this, you're going to have serious complications and die. Not everyone is going to have that kind of a wake up call. So that's what, in closing, that's what I want to make sure we get across on this show every day is that it's your choice. You have the choice. Like, let's make a change before it's fucking too late. Like, let's be like Mike before Mike was like Mike, right? I mean, let's do what you are doing now before you get to the point where you are like, holy shit, I need to do this before I have an issue.
Yeah.
And like, do the rehab before you have the injury. Do the corrective
Yes.
before you have to correct shit. Lose the weight and build the muscle before you're okay. I'm pre-diabetic or diabetic, and I have to do this so I can live a longer quality of life. Like, let's do it first. That's why I'm trying to give people essentially that perspective of being sick and being like a cat backed into a corner, or being old and not being able to stand up, because I've seen that aspect of it. I've trained people with diabetes that were overweight severely, that could barely stand up. People that are so weak, they didn't have any muscle tone to stand up or even get on a machine. They need to be helped. Like, I've seen such decrepit physical statures. Like, I just can't comprehend ever being like that by choice, especially by apathy and not doing anything. Like, you literally need to get scared as fuck and take action as if you are injured, or like you're steps away from a wheelchair, because you'll snap your fingers and you will be 40, 50, or 60, and you're gonna be in the same position. It's like, it's not going to happen. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I say that's about the waste of time. That's what got me hooked. You talk about the waste of time.
That's
You
it.
know,
The waste of time is everything,
I
man.
was wasting time. You cannot get it back.
Yeah.
You cannot get it back. Even if like you miss 2 days at the gym, you try it on you go on, you try to do all 3 of those days in one. You're still not doing what you would have done if you'd done it. Like because you're trying to squeeze everything, and you
Yes.
cannot get your time back that's lost.
You
You just
can't.
fucking can't.
You
So you
can't.
might as well just do it now. This way you don't have to suffer the consequences in the future. I mean, that's just the simplest thing. And dude, the way you got it, and I can't say it enough, the way you got it set out, if you don't sign on and just follow it and do it, all you gotta do is push a button. He tells you what the fuck to do. I mean, if you can't do that, then why are you even doing this? Why are you trying to search out something else? Because you'll never do it.
Well,
if you can't click on a button and be like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it is.
I know. It really doesn't get that much. It doesn't get too much easier than just hitting the button, hitting a play button, and just follow the bouncing ball, right?
Yes. Yes. Even if you don't know what to do or how to begin or where to go, just do that. Hit the button. He shows you how to do it, how to go, how to do it. He even tells you if you can't do it 3 times, do it just 2. You can't do it just 3 times, do it this.
Just do the motion.
Once you start doing it, next week you'll do more.
Yeah.
Then the month
you know what I'm scared of, bro?
More.
I've been on this kind of like thought kick, and I think I mentioned it like in the last week or two. Just the fact that like I'm already getting anxious about New Year's resolution time because it's May. It's April right now. Like I know I'm gonna snap my fingers because we just kind of came out of that whole time period, and a lot of you probably caught it yourself. The best year ever workshop that I did, around the new year, right? And I know it's gonna come. Like before anyone knows it, April is going to be September. It's going to be Labor Day and Halloween and Thanksgiving again. Like it's going to be here. Like literally snap your fucking fingers. Like summer is here. Remember that brutal winter everyone's dealing with. Like it's already like in a month, you're not going to remember winter. It's going to be hot as hell and it's going to be whatever. But you're going to snap your fingers and it's going to be New Year's resolution time. And so many of you listening and watching are going to be in the same fucking position in 6 months. I'm sorry, 7 months, 8 months, 5 months, 2 months. Like you'll be in the same position. And all you had to do was start taking action and start doing it today. And then you could have been 7 months in, 8 months in, like what everyone just heard from live and from the podcast after is, Mike, you were saying you did it like in 5 months. Like you weren't even talking about years. Like this is progress that you've seen in that small window. What could you do in 8 months, right? What could you do in 9 months, which is going to be New Year's, and 7 months is going to be Halloween, Thanksgiving time. Like what could you do? And this is what Abigail just posted, just popped up on Facebook. She goes, the sad part is I could have been so much further by now if I had only been consistent. Why live with that regret? Like you don't have to be inconsistent anymore if you commit to yourself today and start doing it every day.
Yep. And that's just it every day. Even when you don't want to go, you have to every day. Like I said, go back and watch. I'm pretty sure it's episode 434 or 444 or 443. It's got those numbers in it. But about the wasted time. It's like a 45-minute episode. Watch that episode and you'll be like, holy shit, I will never skip another day. I can't get that time back. I know you hear me talking about it, but the way he lays it out in the episode, you just absolutely can't get it
Mike,
back.
because I'm not sure if the name of the episode is titled that. If you wouldn't mind, like if you go back, if you find that or which one it is, I'll give it a shout out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And kind of like, just in case, because I know some people might be like looking through and like I'll be damned if I remember what episode that was in. But if you recognize it, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And that was the one. And the way you worded it all out, I was just like, holy shit, that's the story of my life. I always put it off, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week, or like you say all the time, I'm going to start it on Monday, but it's fucking Thursday. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Why wait till fucking Monday? If you're going to wait till Monday, you're going to make another excuse. You're not going to start.
It's just another sunrise and sunset. It's like, why categorize it and push it off? And you probably heard the episode, like there's a Monday every week, and that's the problem because you get stuck in this little microcycle. You just get a Monday, you get churned around and kicked around Monday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boom, just getting this, like, it's almost as if the 7 days in a week is like a dryer machine for clothes. You just go spinning around like a spin cycle. You just boom, 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 boom. You just bounce around all the fucking time. And if you find your place and you find your rhythm, it's like stopping the dryer, opening the door, and all of a sudden everything stops. You're like, oh shit, it's a lot simpler than I was making it. Like you just bang your head
Yeah.
against a wall 7 days a week in this routine. Yeah, you get trapped in this little mini cycle that society puts you in, this like 7 day, you know, work 5 days, 2 days off, work 5 days, and you just get sucked in and you get lost.
Yeah.
Can't get lost,
Yeah.
man.
You get lost, and you get lost in the routine of stuff, because now you have this routine set up, and it's hard to break that routine. So you can't give yourself other little pleasures. I look at the gym as a pleasure now. I get anxious like during the day.
Mm-hmm.
You're cooking, or I'm working on my bikes for people, or doing whatever you're doing, and then that's my getaway now. I go to the gym. I put on some, I don't know. I like Bad Religion on Pandora Station. It's like some angry punk music.
Yeah,
And I
sure.
just put some of that on, and that's what I do. I go in there and I kill it. I do my stretch. People look at me because I go and I do my same routine. I go and I walk for 15 minutes now. I used to walk for like a half hour, 45 minutes. Now I just do it as a warm up. And then I do some stretching, and then I do like the mobility. But instead of doing the mobility from the premier week, but instead of doing like 10, I
Yeah.
just do like 5 of each thing, just to quickly warm myself up and get everything all loose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go do my stuff. And that's what I do every day. I look forward to doing it. If I do have to skip, then I feel like anxious. Like, man, now you know what I mean? Like you said, then I got to make it up tomorrow. And tomorrow sucks because then I got to do, then you feel anxious about it. And once you start doing that a couple times, you don't want to feel like that. You want to keep the rhythm. You want to keep everything going, and if you're diabetic, you skip a couple of days or you skip a week and your blood sugar start going up, you start feeling like shit, you're thirsty, you're angry,
Yep.
And it throws everything else off, and it's just easier just to maintain it, and I don't know if anybody knows anything about being diabetic, but when your blood sugar is high, you get agitated and kind of angry. And, before when you're fat and overweight and eating shit all the time, my blood sugar was always high. So, I was just a different person.
Yeah.
I was a different person. Yeah, it's like a dick to everybody. I mean, even your friends, they could be saying some shit, and you just like, shut your fucking mouth with what you're thinking, because they're just agitating you, and you can't control it. It's just how you feel.
Maybe I have high blood sugar. Come to
no,
think.
you just feel a lot of idiots every day.
Maybe I don't know. I kind of
over and over that all you had to do is like listen to an episode. You just
I don't know, man. I feel like
literally.
I feel like maybe I'm diabetic. I got something going. I gotta get that checked out.
So I'm in a way better mood now. Like I said, my blood sugars are perfect. I'm healthy, dude. I'm like, if I didn't have to take insulin, you wouldn't even know I had anything wrong with me now.
Well,
seriously,
what's
that's
perfect?
how
What's perfect anyway?
clothes.
What's perfect anyway, right? I mean, what do you consider?
Yeah,
you start playing with that word perfect, and then you kind of lose. It's like
perfect. Perfect is that. So if anybody else would take their blood sugar, a normal person, your blood sugar would always be between 80 and 120.
I meant like the theory of perfect. I meant like the concept, like the philosophy of perfect.
The theory of perfect for me is not being sick, being healthy, getting up every day and being able to move and live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not having to go to the hospital, not throwing up.
For sure. You're not going to win everything. You're not going to win every battle. You're not going to win. I mean, how many times have you worked out? Okay. How many times would you say, or how often do you not want to work out? Like, honestly, you just don't want to, but you do it anyway. Like, what percentage of the time do you do it anyway, rather than like, oh, I can't wait?
About 3 days a week. I don't want to go.
Look, okay. So like literally half the time.
I go late at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So literally half the time you don't want to do shit. Like, okay. So I'm the same way. Right. Like half the time, sometimes you'll be like, I'm amped. I want to work out today. Can't wait. Boom. Half the time. Okay. Like that in itself that's everything. That in itself that's your success in a nutshell, is the fact that about half the time you don't want to do it. And I think it's that aspect or that concept or that philosophy or that faux philosophy of being perfect is feeling like it all the time. Because I get so many messages, and you've listened to my content, Mike. You know what I say about motivation. It's just not the right approach. It's bullshit. I don't endorse motivation. I try not to use the word at all, but it's hard sometimes because people get the meaning of it. I try to use inspiration or other forms, but you're not going to like everyone's looking for, how do you stay motivated? And I know what they're asking. They're asking, how do you feel like it all the time? That's what they're asking. How do you feel like it? Yeah. How do you stay motivated? How do you feel like it all the time? That's like the equivalent. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like it. That's exactly how that's exactly how I get results, is that I don't expect to feel like it all the time. It doesn't play a role in what
Yeah.
I do. I certainly, and I always use the example of the episodes, I certainly wouldn't be on 709 today if I followed what I felt like doing. I don't even know if I'd have
Right.
100 episodes. Like, I just got into a habit and it's just like something that I do. I just don't even think about feeling
Right.
like it. It's like, okay, when am I going to do it? I'll do it now. Okay, fine. Let's do it now. That's it. Just like your workouts.
Yeah. Yep. You got to do it. Like I said, and then once you're there, once I'm there, I'm glad I'm there. Once I'm in the parking lot, I'm actually
That's the
happy.
follow
But
up.
it's the whole,
How many of those
oh man, I
workouts,
should have this.
how
Yeah,
many of those
I should have
workouts
this
did you
girl
regret?
over. Or I could go do this with my dog. None. Well, I can't say none because a couple of times I mean, I can ask myself a couple of times with some weights, but other than,
But
other than that,
But like, you don't feel like it
you know,
3 days out of 7, like 50% of the time, you don't want to go. But how many of those workouts do you actually regret? And it's like pretty much none. It's like
yeah,
you don't want to go, but
none.
then there's never a workout really where I'm like, I wish I didn't go. There's one where
Right.
maybe, okay, I had a headache and I tried to go through and I still had a headache, but I don't regret trying. I just like, all right, so I didn't freaking
Right.
crush it. Okay, so you get it tomorrow. But that's the key.
Right.
That's the key. That's what I wanted to follow up with that, is that you don't regret what work you've put in. Like, it's cumulative. It's going to build to your success.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's so that's my, like I said, like, I need to like talk about motivation, but that's kind of what gets me going when I don't feel like going. Is those are,
Yeah.
like you always say, those are the days you really need to go, because you don't feel like going. That means you got other shit going on in
The
your
most
mind, or you
important.
got other shit going on in your life, and that's the days that you really need to go,
I agree, man.
just to get away from that.
Builds
So
character.
you
That's
know,
like kind of like, that's what they
you,
say. It builds, honestly. And I love that. I love that concept, is when you don't feel like it, that whole, this is when people quit, that whole
you,
philosophy and that whole mindset. Yeah, whenever you don't, if you go and you fucking bust through that wall, like today, I kind of want to feel like, oh, I want to stay here and just do yoga. But part of me is like, no, go fucking work out instead. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like you should, like, but yeah, but no, but don't. It's like you crack that egg and you bust through that barrier, that mental barrier. It's gold, man. Like, that builds
yep, yep,
such a strong foundation to go when you don't feel like it. It's really like almost like a coming of age kind of thing. It's almost like a
yeah.
coming into your
It is,
own.
and then you get like, exactly, then you get more mature. Just like like you said, you get more mature, and then you get into your workouts. Where
Yeah.
like on a Friday night, like my friends like to sit around and drink. Well, I go to the gym and do arms because I got small arms, so that's my Friday night.
There you go.
I hang out and I just beat my arms up so they fucking burn,
There you
and
go.
that's what I do on Friday. That's because I don't drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Occasionally I like to smoke a little pot, but I don't drink or do anything
Hey.
like that. But anything crazy. So I just I got to focus on me. And like when they want to go out and they're partying, my friends, my family, and they want to do shit. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I have to keep telling myself, if I do this, you're gonna feel like shit. If I do this, it's gonna set you back. And like people drink, like I meet all these girls. I go out sometimes. I meet these girls, and they're all chubby. And they're like, oh, but they work out and they eat good, but they drink fucking 12 beers a night. You know what I mean? Every night,
Yeah.
or 6 beers, or
What do you
4 beers, or
expect?
5 beers.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the same as eating McDonald's. It's the same as eating McDonald's. It's fucking shit calories,
Well, it's actually,
for a
it's worse
fucking
because
nothing buzz.
it's worse because when you drink 12 beers and you go to McDonald's after.
Then they want to eat shit food, or they want to go to IHOP and eat fucking stacks of pancakes. That's all these bitches want to do. They want to drink and go to IHOP and eat pancakes. Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Indiana sucks, dude.
Well, I mean, but
uh,
that's the routine people get into. But that's the problem, is
yeah,
that a lot of people are trying to get into fitness, or they don't know where to start. But it's like, you have to break every habit and every routine, because everyone around you in these areas, like, they might not support you,
yeah,
but they're like, oh, cool. Oh, you're getting in shape. Oh, that's badass. But listen, hey, we're going here to get pancakes. And they're like, well, why can't you come? They'll give you shit for not coming. You're like, I just told you I'm
yeah.
doing your fitness. And they're like, oh, but you can't get pancakes. What, you're not going to eat pancakes anymore? Blah, 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 blah. They're trying to
I can
justify their
tell
own
every time my
fatness.
mom
And
comes down and finds, why don't you just eat this? Like, 'cause when my family goes out to eat, they get appetizers, then they get the meal, and then they get dessert.
sure.
I don't eat an appetizer anymore. I get something healthy, and I don't eat desserts. And they're just like, just do it. I'm here. Just eat a dessert with me. And I gotta be like, even I'm not supposed to have desserts, period, because I'm diabetic. even though I wasn't trying to be fucking healthy and trying to eat like this,
Yeah.
I can't eat that shit. You know what I mean? It's just like fucking come
I
on,
eat
people.
before I go
And it's
out.
hard. Family and
If I
friends.
go out to dinner somewhere, I eat
Yeah.
first. And I'm not
I do that
hungry.
when I go to my sister's. Yep.
I
Yep.
think you should eat first. I
When I
think
go to their house,
that's a
I
hack.
do it.
Fill up.
Carbs, 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 carbs. Everywhere you go, dude. If I go to anybody's house, not just like my family, but friends or anything, like on Thanksgiving or Christmas and shit, do they have like meat and they have like a salad and every fucking thing else on the whole everything is just worthless carbs. Not
Worthless.
even good shit, just worthless carbs.
Just filler
You know, if
stuff.
they make sweet potatoes, it's got fucking brown sugar and
Yeah,
marshmallows and
yeah.
shit in
Just
it.
got all the
You know, it's
trappings.
just yeah. You know, and you're just like, man, you know, and you know, and I was guilty of that. I'm not bashing anybody, and if, please don't think that I am anybody that's listening. I'm not bashing anybody because I was like that. You know,
Okay.
I did that,
Dude,
and
you
I
have
ate that way.
perspective. You can say, look,
Yep.
you know, whenever someone asks me, like, have you
You
ever,
want
they
to
ask me, have you ever been
yeah,
fat? And I say, well, I've actually been, I've been heavy because I ate too much. I was trying to bulk and I was like, I did it too
right.
sloppy and I gained a little, I got too soft in my opinion. And, but
Mm-hmm.
no, I mean, I've been fit, you know, I've been exercising my whole life. So, but I'll still talk about, I'll say the truth. But when you have perspective, especially
Right.
like firsthand, say whatever the hell you want. People need to hear it. If someone gets butthurt or they get offended by anything, that's the
Yeah.
truth. Like for anyone that messages me, like I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, then you don't like what I have to say. Well, then you ask me the question. We'll go on our separate ways, and that's fine. I'm not rude to people, but I'm not going to lie to you and be,
Right.
you know, like that gentleman who was saying he doesn't have time. It's like you have time. You're just trying to justify not doing it. What do you want me to say? Either be sick, get worse, it's not going to get better, or make a better choice, prioritize, and make it happen. Like it's not going to do it on its own. And if you don't want to do it, there's
Yeah.
nothing I can do. And I'm sorry you feel that way, but
Yeah.
you know, you're going to get sicker and you're going to die younger. It's like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to,
Yeah.
you want me to pretend
Uh,
like it's not going to happen?
the first like thing of perspective I gained, like you use that word, it was with food, is when I had lost my first 15 pounds. So I was down to like 305,
Mm-hmm.
and I just left the gym, and I went home to eat. I was hungry, and it was about 11 o'clock at night, and like all we had in the fridge, I was still there. And all we had in the fridge was brand cinnamon rolls, like 5 of them. You know, there's like the big ass cinnamon rolls that come like in a 5-pack. You make them, you know, and I had four pit bulls and myself, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make these. I'm only gonna eat one, and I'm gonna give each of the dogs a cinnamon roll. Man, my fat ass ate fucking 4 of them, 4 big cinnamon rolls, and I split one between dogs. And I just sat at myself, and I was like, dude, you just killed a whole week's worth of the gym of busting your ass and eating good for the this momentary pleasure of eating this food. And that's like the first time I ever like equated that together, you know what I mean? And get
Yeah.
that kind of perspective of how food and that I was just like, and it almost made me like, you know, I was mad at myself. I was just like, dude, I can't believe you just did that. And that's when I really started getting strict on my diet.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that, you know, I just threw a week's worth of the gym away
That's
for
good.
cinnamon rolls, you know?
That's
And that's
good,
how I
man.
felt, you know. I was just like, man. And so after that, that's what made me like you said perspective. And I just looked at my head. That's what made me think of, you know, that's what gave me my first perspective on food is when I was eating those cinnamon rolls. I was like, why did you eat 4 of these? And they weren't even little ones. Like I said, they were the huge ones, you know. And I just felt really like embarrassed. Maybe was the best word. Like disappointed. You know what I mean?
I think it's I think it's just disappointment because you've seen the progress, you know what it takes, and you failed yourself. That's where
yeah,
people's integrity and their promises, when you say, oh, when you tell yourself you're going to get in shape, or you tell yourself you're going to make a change, and then you don't, or you say, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to start tomorrow, I'm going to start today, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I'm going to do this on this day, and you don't, your word is all of a sudden worthless. And what you say to
yeah,
yourself, like you just don't trust it. You don't believe it. So it doesn't mean anything. You don't stick to it.
yeah,
So it's just, you lose integrity with yourself, and what you say doesn't hold weight. So you literally have to tell yourself, and you know, you make a promise to someone else. Like if you say you're going to pick someone up at the airport, you're going to pick them up. You know, you tell yourself you're going to
yeah.
go to the gym, and like,
Hey,
well, I don't feel like it, and you don't go. It's like your word doesn't mean anything. You just lose respect for yourself.
so when you start working out, a couple of things happen. You gain pride. You gain pride in yourself
Yeah.
because you notice the difference in how you look and how you feel. When you have pride in yourself, and your mental state starts to change. You start to feel better about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You start to feel better about the world. And you start to feel better about stuff. And I'm only can say that because I went through it. I was depressed as shit. You know, being heavy. Even when I hurt myself, I started gaining that weight back. Just you feel like a piece of shit. You know, you feel like, man, look at where I was, and now look at, you know, I'm back this way, and you know. And I thought, man, I thought my days of working out were done. I mean, after I hurt my shoulder and my back, I kept trying to go to the gym. I thought my days of working out were done. I mean, really, I was depressed, and
Not
I
even
felt
close.
like I just couldn't do it anymore. And like I said, and I've asked you before, like I don't understand the whole science behind it, but you know, if you do have pain, the 90-day dash, when you do it, you don't have pain. Like when I was working out, I've said it before, I felt sore. You know, I felt muscle soreness again. I didn't feel fucking pain. I didn't feel shoulder pain. I didn't feel back pain.
Well, you're
I felt
activating the right
soreness.
muscles. When you're working with the right posture and you're doing the right muscles and you're activating the right parts of your posture, you'll feel it where you're supposed to feel it. I had someone on Twitch mention, he was saying, what you need to talk about is willpower. That's what you need to keep going. And like, I don't know. I don't know about willpower. I like to talk about it in terms of vision and having a purpose. Like when you know what you're doing it for, like willpower, that's almost like, okay, that's just another name for it. This is another name for like
Right.
discipline is doing something whether you feel like it or not. Willpower, discipline. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of like probably, you know, tomato almost, I would almost say, but you know,
Right.
discipline takes away willpower almost means like a defiance and doing it no matter what. Discipline is just like, I don't know. It's like, this is the way it is. It doesn't matter.
Yep. This is the way it
I
needs
don't
to
know. It's just
be. You
like
know,
military
just like
discipline. You're getting up at
discipline.
5, you're getting up
I
at
was gonna
this,
say
you're
that.
doing this, you're following
Yeah.
this instruction. It's like, there's
Yeah.
no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
It's black or it's white.
Yep. Yep. And that I was gonna say that with the military discipline, they do the same thing. It's not this or that. It's this. You know, you have no option. It's this.
Yeah.
You have to do this, and that's the discipline. You have to do it.
Like, do you think it's
you
like,
can get up and make
it's not
excuses.
willpower, right? I mean, that kind of
No,
approach is not,
no.
I wouldn't call
I
that
think
willpower.
willpower. No, willpower is not punching some idiot in the fucking face when he's like being a jerk. You know, willpower is not running somebody off the road when they cut in front of you. That's willpower. You know, that's not
That's
fucking
what,
shoot them in the face. You go to prison.
that's what
That's
I was going to say.
willpower.
That's like, that's like, that's the desire not to go to jail.
Yeah, yeah. So that's more willpower. But I think you have to have the discipline. You have to have the dedication. You have to. If you don't, and like all these other dudes that have been on there just as long as I have, like Ben, all these other people that that have been on there just as long as I have,
Yes.
they say the same thing. You got to do it. Discipline. All these other dudes that are on there, they do the same thing that I do. They do it every day.
Yeah.
They do it every day. And yeah, they're a little stronger than I am, and like their progress and that. But of course, they've been doing it.
Everyone's got their own journey. Everyone's got their own body. Everyone has their own strength
and
capacity.
That's what people have to realize.
You don't let that bother you.
Those guys have done it. There's no shame in where you start. The shame is not starting. That's the biggest
I agree.
shame. There's no shame in where you start.
There's no.
I don't care if you can if you're so fat and you're so out of shape and you've been eating like shit your whole life and you can only do one set of 6. Go the fuck.
That's
do
it.
One set of 6.
Then
if you don't want to go to the gym.
And that's what you do.
Because
That's
you're
what you
afraid
do.
of the way people are going to look at you or think of you. Do the shit at home.
Well, some people are just absolutely like paralyzed by what other people think and everyone looking at them in the gym. It's like no one gives a fuck about you. And I don't know. I do understand when you're going to a place and
making fun of you, or someone at the gym making
if they're
comment about you or looked at you, they're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
because,
that doesn't happen though. People aren't making fun.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen unless you're in like a high school gym and high school and kids are fucking stupid. But if you're at a big gym,
people don't even make eye contact with each other.
Well, I mean, if you're in a gym, a lot of times cardio equipment is up on like the second floor or it's in the front and it's pointing towards the equipment, which is kind of weird because then it's like when you're working out, all eyes are on you just because the machines are facing the equipment. So I'm not sure why they try to make it like a stadium. They don't want it to be boring for the people on the treadmills. It's like, well, then get off the fucking treadmill and go to the actual gym. But I don't blame people for thinking that everyone's looking at them because they literally are looking at them just because they're in the field of view, but they're saying looking at them in the sense that they're getting judged. And I mean, of course you fucking judge everyone, but you don't really care. Like, you might be like, oh, that person's fat, but you're you're thinking about what you're doing about yourself. You're not, I don't know. You're not analyzing.
When I see heavy people at the gym, I get excited. I smile at them. I wave to them. Man, I give them encouragement, man, because I was there. and I know how it feels to
You're in the
be
place of
overweight,
where it
that overweight,
happens. You got
and
to go to
yep,
the gym.
yep,
Yeah. I mean, you have to encourage
yep,
that.
yep,
Yeah, it's
yep.
encouraging. It's
That's like
someone
that's like making fun of somebody for going to school because they want an education. I mean, that's just retarded.
fucking
You just
being fat in a
it's not
gym is where you're
something you
supposed
do.
to be. If you're fat, you should be in
Yep,
the
yep,
gym. Good. Like that's
yep,
literally where you're supposed
yep,
to be. Like, will you be fat forever? No, like everyone has their own journey, and some people have a harder time losing fat. But you did look. It took you time to gain that weight. It took you time to get fat. It took you time to get obese
yeah,
and have all those issues. It's going to take time to unravel and to come off. And you
yep,
have to give yourself that time. It's not going to all of a sudden, wow, everything is. I decided to get in shape today, so all of a sudden
right.
look at all this change I
I mean,
have.
I'm still,
It takes time.
yeah. I mean, I bust my ass, and I still got a long way to go. You know what I mean?
We all
I still got
do.
a long way to go. I just, and but that's my journey. That's my what I do. That's what I'm making my future is. I gotta do stuff like you always say my way.
Yeah.
That's why I don't work out with my friends anymore. I don't work out with my cousins anymore. Those guys are always like, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Well, I'm doing this, and I do my program. You know what I mean? And I got cousins that take steroids, and like they're all really short, and they're all really super strong, got fantastic bodies, but
Yeah.
without that shit, and they always brag about how strong they are.
On that
And my one cousin's like, oh, I'm so much stronger than, like, talking about you. He's like, I'm so much stronger than him. And I was like,
I
dude, how do you know? You've never even watched him work out ever.
don't know,
And you
maybe.
cheat, and you cheat, and you fucking cheat. So I don't want to hear
Yeah.
it.
You
You
know
know,
what's
if
funny
you
is
go in and you
someone
start eating regular food, and you don't shoot that shit in your ass, and then you fucking
yeah.
brag about how strong you are, and you put in the real work, then I'll be like, oh, dude, that's great. But
Look,
that's just,
look,
you're,
that's
yeah.
that's a small-minded mentality. It's like look, when someone
Mm-hmm.
asks me how much or how strong, like there are many, 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 many people that are stronger than me. There are many, many people that are bigger than me. There are many people that are taller. There's always someone that's better at whatever you're doing. There's always someone that
Yep.
the specific task you're doing, there's someone that will be considered better. You have to just do the best that you can in your areas. And if you're fortunate, like I'm fortunate to do what I love for a living. So I'm doing that. And I'm trying to create something where I can continue to do more of what I love, more for a living and just, and push on those limits. But um, it's just when you take something like your own insecurities out on someone else, like that's the last thing that I ever care when someone asks me, how much do you bench? I'm like, I don't know, not a lot, not as much as I used to. And I never really focused on just benching until I passed
Right.
out. Like that's an ego lift. That's not as functional as other things that need to be addressed first. And in addition to, and it's just a different approach and everyone's going to have their own
Yep.
prejudices and their own issues and their own compensations, whether it's, their insecurities. But as long as you're able to recognize, like, I don't, like, for example, someone said that to my face, I'd be like, sure. I just know where they're coming from. I know why they're saying it. And
Right.
I have no issue with that being the case either. You have to be okay with where you are and okay with your own efforts and with what you have. That's it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what and that's what your man. I know I say it a lot, but that's what your program teaches you. Where you're at, do it where you're at, do it where you're at, and this is where you're at,
Where you're
and
at.
you'll always do where you're at, and you'll always have more progress. You know what I mean? And if I didn't see progress, I wouldn't preach it. If I didn't heal myself and I didn't get off all my meds and all that shit,
Yeah.
I wouldn't preach it. I wouldn't tell people about it. I wouldn't give a fuck. If it didn't work for me, I would be like, whatever, you know.
That's the
And
way
back when I
that's
joined,
the way it should be.
these people are lucky. Yeah, these people are lucky. They, now you can join, and it was, you have the 90-day dash as part of just your Swole X. When I joined, it was my mom was like, I can't believe you're going to spend it's just like $100, which is nothing on an exercise program. She
Whatever,
said.
right? When it
I
was a
said,
separate thing. Yeah, back in the day.
yeah, but it
Yeah.
was all separate,
Yeah,
and
I'm
like, yeah,
sure.
you had to do everything separate. You had to do the yoga separate,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now all these people, they get it all together. They don't know how amazing that is. Man, you got everything right on one website to completely change yourself from head to toe, inside and out, spiritually, mentally, everything. And I don't know about spiritually. It's what you do when you do yoga. I think about
It
different shit when I
depends
do
on
my
if you
yoga, but
think
yeah.
if the gym is your church, let it be spiritual.
Yeah, man,
Well, let me let me
that's
let me let
right.
me let me not get let me not confuse and blur the lines between religion and spirituality. But yeah, I hear you, man. It's look, I'm doing the best that I can. with the tools that I have. And I'm fortunate to have yourself and the like-minded people around. I mean, that's the benefit of this community, the private community, the greater Swolenormous community, is the like-minded approach. I mean, you bring people, like, you tell your friends and they tell their friends, or you bring more people that have the same mind. You can't convince people. You can't convince people to change their life. You can't convince people to change um, their whole entire, just their life, their style, their habits, their, all their belief systems. It's really hard to convince anyone to do that, and maybe even impossible. But
Yeah,
if you can
it's
lead
almost
them, you lead by
it's
example.
almost
You share
impossible.
it. You
People
share it.
people are people are set in their own ways until they see a better way, a better example.
Yeah,
And if you see a better way and a better example and you still don't do it, well, that's just completely on you.
I agree.
That's how I feel about your program. And even like when I see like with my friends, like I haven't seen for, I got in trouble like 3 years ago, so I cut off a lot of my friends. But
Mhm.
people haven't seen me in 3 years. They're like, Jesus, dude, And I tell them, hey, I follow this guy on Facebook. I whip out I show them the Swole X on my phone. I was like, this is what I do. This is what I do. It's easy, And they're like, oh man, da da da. I know they'll never do it. I know they'll never look at it because they don't want to change.
Well,
They like
that's
being who they are. They're content with being who they are, and that's fine. So I don't
yeah.
have to have anything to do with them.
I get a lot of
And
people
that's
that
just the
ask
biggest
me,
thing. I want to
why I
grow.
give. Well, they ask why I give away so much, a lot of free content. Most people won't use it, and it's too bad that most people won't listen to the episodes and take the time
Oh, I
to
know.
research and put the time into it. But it's all here. It's all here on the daily. It's all in. So those of you that are in
Yeah,
Swolenormous X, those of
the
you that
people
are,
that don't want to do it, we don't want them in there anyway, and that's how I feel.
yeah.
You know,
Well, it keeps.
People that don't want to do it,
I
you
want the
don't want them
motive.
in there because you don't. I mean, you want them in there because you want to change, but
I want the
the people are in
attitude.
there and they're always going to make excuses. You don't want their excuses on there. You don't want to hear, oh,
Well,
well, I didn't
the
do
thing
this
is,
week because of this, and
it doesn't have to be something that gets filtered. Like, the only people that stick
right,
around here and that watch the show, that have been here watching the entire time or listening in the entire time, those are the people that are, those are the people that it attracts. And of course, not everyone can watch it live. Some people are going to finish it up later.
right,
It's been a great podcast, but that's, like attracts like. And if you focus on yourself and you focus on the positivity and putting in the hard work and experimenting and committing yourself to improving, then you attract, you attract the similar, you attract people with the same mindset. And
oh
that's
yeah,
a great thing. That's a great thing. So, like, you can't, like, just the sharing, doing, talking about it, just being fitness oriented and approaching it the way you have, with the program and what you've accomplished, just sharing and being open to it, and just people will come to you. A lot of times they'll be negative and like repel at first, but then they'll come back later. Hey, what was that you were talking about earlier? They just get fed up to
right.
the point where they realize, all right, I'm just in denial and I need to do something. That's really common too.
Well, good. So yeah, that's what people do for me now. Like I said, I like when people ask me how I got this way, how I look like this, or what I mean, or what I've been doing, or I like telling them, and I try to tell them how easy it is. And some people they get this look on their face like that can't be easy. You know what I mean?
Well,
Or
easy in
like
the
it sounds
sense of
so hard.
accessibility, but yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's also the perception of how hard it is to change. You're actually simplifying your life. You're simplifying your approach, but it
yeah,
just takes some physical effort. And yeah, it's going to feel challenging, but it's more of a mental challenge. It's more of a mental challenge of changing your habits and going to the gym or getting up
yeah.
earlier. No one likes that kind of change, but that's what it takes. And that's what you've done. And no, I really appreciate you sharing your story, man. I really appreciate you coming on and
Thank you.
like and laying it all out here. I'm sure it won't be the last time we do this. And, as other people are on the show and sharing their stories, I definitely want to touch base with this again. But do you have any,
Sure.
like, anything like in closing, let's say like a final piece, or if you have one thing you'd recommend people to focus on, like one thing, just
Uh,
one concept, like kind of like your, your final thought, so to speak.
Final thoughts and like it's just do it. I know I said it a couple times in this podcast, but just do it.
Yeah.
Get
Simple.
up today and do it. Just go. Like I said, I will find the episode on the lost time and post it, but
Yeah. Do
catch
that.
up on that. Yeah, dude, I tell you it will change your perspective on
Mhm.
wanting to work out and just your life in general. I mean, like you can't get time back. Can't get time back, and you just need to do it.
That's the
You need
best.
to do it. You need to start.
That's it right there. You have
So
to start. You won't get the time back. Those are all facts. You can get more money. You can
yeah,
get another car. You can get another pair of pants.
yes,
You can get another phone, but you can't get more time no matter what you do. No matter
you
what you
can't.
do, no matter how much money you have, no matter what kind of job, time is time and time
Yeah,
leaves no matter what.
yeah.
So, what, yeah, definitely
And,
check out
and
that.
and I just
Go
got
ahead.
and one more thing. If you got anybody out there is questioning whether they should do it, that should be enough to get you started. If you really feel like you need a change, you really feel like you need something, just do it.
You
I
did it,
mean,
man. You
yeah,
did
and
it.
I like I said, and I'm not a genetic specimen that's like, wow, that's why it worked for him because he's superior genetic. And I'm low on the genetic pool, I'm pretty low. And if I can do it with all my problems and all my setbacks and all my injuries and all my health issues, anybody can do it. Just start. Just
You're
start
leading by
today.
example,
Just start.
man. Just if you start today,
Thank you.
if you start today, you don't have to start tomorrow.
No,
That's
and
it.
it's harder to start tomorrow.
Yeah,
So every
it
day you
gets
put off, that's harder. It's
it gets
harder and harder
harder.
because that's
It
just one
does.
more day. It does. If you do it today, start where you can. Start where you can. The next month you can do double. Next month you'll be able
It
to do
does.
double that. And it's
I
just a
love it.
progression. And once you start seeing the progression,
Yep.
you'll be hooked. You'll be hooked.
Absolutely.
So,
No doubt about it. Well, dude,
well,
thank you.
man, it's been
Yeah, it was a real
it's been
pleasure
a pleasure.
myself.
My absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank
Make
you.
sure you find out that number. Send me a message.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shout out tomorrow. I really appreciate that because some people
Okay.
in the comments were asking. But yeah, man, I really appreciate
All
your
right.
time. Thank you so much for being on the show, bro.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Like I said, I owe it all to you. Thank you.
You got it, bro. Take care, Mike. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. All right.
Later, guy. Well, there you have it, folks. I really appreciate Mike and his time. So, Mike, again, thank you. I think that was an amazing podcast. Like, what a great story. What a great and the best part about all of that was the story is not over. So great questions that you were all dropping in the comments. So much, there's so much to come for each and every single one of you. For Mike, specifically, he's just getting started with his journey. Like, this is just still fresh, seen a lot of progress, and it's the mental approach as much as it is the physical approach. So it's both of those things. You need to really have your head in the right space and approach your fitness from that lifelong direction, from that vector, because it's just a piece. Today is just a piece of the larger puzzle. And as you move forward, you're going to regret not starting today. You're going to regret not starting today, whatever it is. Just start doing something. Just start taking the steps, making the commitment to change things, even if it's one thing at a time. Just make those steps forward. Those of you that are asking in the comments what program he's referring to, what everything we're talking about, if you're interested in that program, the 90-day dash in Swolenormous X, which we were discussing, is swolenormousx.com. That's my private membership site. But if you're new to the show, remember you can catch all the episodes, SoundCloud and Apple Podcast, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Just follow me at Swolenormous. You can always send me a DM or a private message if you have any questions, if you want any more information. But you can go to swolenormousx.com for details on programs, classes, yoga classes, everything that we were discussing today and more. And I am going to reiterate what Mike was saying in terms of his final thoughts is just to do it. Just to do it, take action. Nothing will happen unless you do something about it. And I really want to coat over it again with another coat of paint. I want to reiterate that the new year is coming. Remember that New Year's resolution that didn't get done this past New Year's? Yeah, that New Year's is fucking coming again real soon. In a few months, you are going to be in the same damn position. Don't wait, because you're just going to create a steeper hill for you to climb. And it's completely unnecessary. You can make a huge change just by starting today. So it's a Sunday. It's the beginning of another week. Don't get stuck in that rat race. Don't get pushed down by family members or friends or negative people around you. You have to do it for you. You have to do it for you. This is something that you have to take responsibility for, because it's your health and it's no one's responsibility but your own. Okay. It's no one's responsibility but your own. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. Again, it's your fucking responsibility. So do something about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for episode 709 of The Daily Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, and Nipplecast on this Sunday in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Oh, 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 oh. I will see everyone tomorrow on Manic Monday. Tomorrow, we're going to absolutely crush like we always do for 710 tomorrow. So make sure you turn on your post notifications on Twitch, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose. I'll see you all in Swolenormous X. Papa Swolio. Oh, 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 oh. Out. Love you. Thank you so much. Please leave a comment, leave some feedback if you enjoyed the longer podcast, if you enjoyed the call today. Drop some comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Dishes. Enjoy, enjoy.